What's going on, Who That Nation? It is your truly TJ Jones, the host of the State of the Saints podcast. And I'm here today to talk about the Saints' heartbreaking loss in the wild card round of the playoffs to the Minnesota Vikings by a score of 26-20. This game right here left me with a lot of unanswered questions. I don't even know where to start. I tried to take a few minutes to decompress and try to focus on this game. I could give a damn, excuse my French, what the score is of the Seattle-Philadelphia game right now. It is just amazing to me how this team just constantly chokes in the postseason. It's amazing to me how this team, since 2016, has put together some of the best draft classes in NFL history, and yet they choke in the postseason. I cannot understand how this team for the last couple years knew who the weak links were in the secondary, and yet still didn't get rid of these guys, only for them to choke in the postseason. Sean Payton was outcoached, out-schemed, outwitted. Whatever out you can come up with, he was out. People want to talk about the defense on that last drive of overtime. This defense played outstanding today. If you have a problem with the way the defense played, it's probably because the offense wasn't moving the ball at all. Too many 3-and-outs, and you put your defense on the field so many times. It's only so many times they're going to be able to make stops. I mean, these guys get off field, they get a little Gatorade in their system, and it's time for them to go back on the field. On this version of the State of the Saints podcast, I'm probably going to say a lot of things that a lot of people don't agree with. I might make some people upset at some of the things that I say. I might even lose some subscribers at some of the things that I am going to say. But it needs to be said. The Saints lost this game because of the all-time leading passer, the all-time leader in completions, the all-time leader in touchdown passes, number 9, Drew Brees. I don't want to hear anything about no push-off. I don't want to hear anything about no referees. I don't want to hear nothing about that. Drew Brees is the reason why the Saints lost this game. Drew Brees, anybody that's talk about Drew Brees don't have an ego, I'm going to argue with you on that. I feel like Drew Brees was looking at how well Taysom Hill was playing, the response that he was getting, the fact that he launched that ball downfield to Deontay Harris on that completion. And I felt like he threw that ball down the field because of his ego. Let's just be honest about this, folks. Drew Brees has thrown the ball down the field quite a bit this season. I can probably count maybe 5 times on my hands the passes that he threw. And none of them were connected on a deep pass. Okay? I could think of 3 times he underthrew Ted Ginn Jr. by at least about 10 or 15 yards. I could think of a couple of times where the ball wasn't even close to getting to the man. Drew Brees is the reason why the Saints lost. That turnover late in the second quarter caused the Minnesota Vikings to get the ball in good field position, and they had the lead going into halftime. Then you have Taysom Hill. The man played his heart out. Taysom Hill played his heart out in this game. If anybody left it all on the field, it was number 7, Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill was fighting off defenders. Taysom Hill was fighting for extra yards. Taysom Hill was catching passes. Taysom Hill was throwing passes, only for our beloved quarterback to fumble the football in the red zone. Who knows if he wouldn't have given up that pass, fumbled the football. What's the worst case scenario? Will Lutz hits a field goal and ties the game. So then the final possession that you have when you're driving the ball down the field would have been a game-winning field goal. Will Lutz missed the field goal at halftime. Okay. But the Saints still win the game. The defense still was making stops. The second half, Dalvin Cook was not really effective. He did most of his dirty work in the first half. The Saints made the adjustments, and they played much better. Only for Drew Brees to go out there 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. Oh, but I'm not done. It's not just Drew Brees. Let's talk about our beloved coach, Sean Payton. The man who has the ego the size of Alaska and Texas combined. This guy goes out there on a 3rd and 1 and goes into the shotgun formation on a halfback toss with Alvin Kamara. Keep in mind, Latavius Murray was getting yards. Latavius Murray was getting yards. You have a 6'2", 230-pound running back on a 3rd and 1. Who gives a you-know-what if everybody in the stadium knows if he's going to get the ball? If you cannot get 1 yard, lined up in I formation, lined up in a split formation, lined up in a pistol, you don't deserve to get that first down. The defense did everything they could possibly can do. Patrick Robinson on that last drive, the only reason why he was in that game because Marcus Williams rolled up on Marshawn Lattimore, who I'm going to talk about in a minute. So Patrick Robinson just came in and got subbed into the game, and that was a matchup that was just a straight-up nightmare. The wild card round of the playoffs, a 13-3 team, fighting for the number 1 seed a couple weeks ago, is out of the playoffs. And 2 of the people that have made the Saints a legitimate franchise are to blame for this loss. I'm going to be honest with you. This right here was the most heartbreaking loss I ever experienced as a Saints fan. I know we talk about the championship game, the controversial 9 call. That was heartbreaking, but this right here, this just stinks. It just stinks. This team was too damn good for them to be sitting at home right now. This team was just too good to even be a wild card team. You let Kirk Cousins, the man, 2 weeks ago, stuck it up on national television. Couldn't get the ball downfield to save his mama life. Looked like a deer in headlights. You let a weak, pathetic offensive line hold you in check. That offensive line was getting whooped by the Green Bay Packers. Whooped. But you allowed these guys to hold up a pocket for Kirk Cousins? This is a shot at the Drew Brees legacy. I don't want to hear about, oh man, nah, bro. This is the stuff that gives the media, this gives them the leverage to say that Drew Brees is not a top 10 quarterback. When you get bounced out of the playoffs by Jared Goff, a guy who played like straight hot garbage all season long, the reason why he even played good last season was because to the end of the play almost, you had Sean McVay talking in his ear, telling him where to put the ball, how the defense was running. He basically was his quarterback whisperer to the very end till they completely wipe out the mics. You let Jared Goff beat you. You let Case Keenum, a guy who can't even keep his job right now because a mediocre at best quarterback in Washington is outplaying him. And now Kirk Cousins? Bruh. This is just pathetic. This is just pathetic, man. I'm sorry. This is sad. This is horrible stuff right here. Kirk Cousins came into the Superdome. Kirk Cousins threw a pass down the field to set up his team for a go-ahead touchdown. Kirk Cousins threw the game-winning touchdown to beat the Saints in the Superdome. I don't want to hear nothing about no referees, bro. I'm sorry. The refs shouldn't have even been a part of this game. Let's go ahead and kill that noise right here and now. They shouldn't even been a factor in this game. Every time the game is close, anytime we see this, man, the referees didn't throw the interception. The referees didn't fumble the football. The referees didn't have three straight 3-and-outs. The referees, you know what I'm saying, wasn't telling, you know what I'm saying, like wasn't telling Dalvin Cook to slice up the defense like Swiss cheese in the first half. I don't want to hear nothing about no referees, bro. The Saints are too good. Been put up 32 points the last half of the season. And you can only muster up at home 20 points? I don't care how good the Minnesota Vikings team is. I don't care how good they are defensively. That's all you can put up. And keep in mind, they didn't even have their starting corners. You had a guy in Xavier Rhodes who has been getting smoked all season long, looking like he was an all-pro. Where the hell was Jared Cook until the second half? They linebackers not even that good in coverage. This was just pathetic, man. Marshawn Lattimore. Let me get on him. You want to cry and complain and just because Aaron Glenn got in your face because he know you can play better? You want to pout on the sidelines? You want to get upset that you don't become all pro? You want to get upset that people didn't vote you in for the Pro Bowl last season? You had an opportunity to go out there and ball. Look, I can see, okay? Janoris Jenkins balled his behind off today. He had Stephon Diggs over there crying on the sidelines, throwing a helmet to the side. He was all up in blitz coverage. He was making tackles. I ain't got nothing to say about Janoris Jenkins. If the Saints are smart, you bring that dude back. You find a way to bring this dude back. Marshawn Lattimore got worked by Adam Thielen. Now, Adam Thielen has been dealing with a hamstring injury all year long. 6 games he's missed. Hasn't done nothing all season. But he out there working you. You let a dude that people didn't even know if he was going to play. Been dealing with a hamstring. You let that dude work you, man. 3rd and 9, man. Y'all can't make a stop there. Let's go ahead and break this game down. All right, let's start with the first quarter. The first quarter, the Minnesota Vikings, they started off, they was running the ball to the left, okay? This goes to show you right here how much Marcus Davenport was missed. We talk about Marcus Davenport. Look, you can talk about this man's inability to get to the quarterback all you want to, but that's one thing that guy is good at. He can set the heck out of an edge, okay? Nobody was running on that side when he was over there, okay? So they realized that. The Saints, what they need to change in the offseason, this is very important, okay? You don't have to listen to me, all right? You just watch the tape. The Saints on these teams doing these jet sweeps and these halfback tosses, they cannot get containment. They cannot get to the running back, okay? So they need to find some cats that can set the edge. You know what I'm saying? Like some guys that can rotate. I like Trey Hendrickson, but he ain't it. He ain't it on the outside. I'm sorry. People talk about Davenport all they want to. You can talk about the man not getting to a quarterback, but that dude set the edge. The Saints missed him. Jet sweeps, halfback tosses. Teams have been exposing them. This was like watching the Atlanta Falcon game all over again. They basically played the same game that the Atlanta Falcons played. It was like watching a game all over again. It was like watching it all over again. Somebody watched that tape. Delvin Cook was slicing through this defense like Swiss cheese. I mean, he was probably, man, I wouldn't be surprised getting about 5 yards a carry. I know he was over 5 yards a carry. Adam Thielen, honestly, he started really making some noise in the second half. First half, I mean, the passing game was doing a pretty decent job. It was just a running game. And the crazy thing about this is, what were y'all watching on tape from the Minnesota Vikings? They basically won the same way they won every single game this season. If Dalvin Cook runs the football, it sets up the play action because you have to respect the fact that Dalvin Cook can hurt you. I mean, were they asleep in a meeting? Was the tape not on? Like, were they watching they celebration in a locker room or something? Were they watching Teddy Bridgewater do the motorbike? What the hell was going on? Everybody knows that offense runs through Dalvin Cook. You stop him. And don't say that you couldn't, because in the second half you did. In the second half you did, man. So what were you thinking? Huh? What were you thinking? You thought that what? Kirk Cousins? Like Kirk Cousins is a play action quarterback. Bruh. Alvin Kamara in the first half didn't do a damn thing. Didn't do nothing. I don't know what's going on with him. I don't know what's going on in that man's personal life. I don't know if he's reading his press clippings. I don't know if his t-shirt line is getting all his attention, but that's not the Alvin Kamara that I've seen play for the last 2 seasons. That's not the Alvin Kamara that we all know the growing love in the Who Dat Nation. I can even make an argument right now. If this man talking about being the highest paid running back in the National Football League, laughable. Laughable. This dude didn't live up to his potential. In my opinion, Latavius Murray played better than him this past season. I feel like the Saints should have used Latavius Murray more. Didn't use him more. I don't know. Maybe it's because Latavius Murray is not really a Sean Payton guy. But what I seen in this game, when Latavius Murray was getting the ball, he was getting 3 and 4 yards, even maybe a 6 or 7 every now and then. But that goes to show you the ego of Sean Payton. Sean Payton wanted his guys on the field. Michael Thomas, my man. I can't even too much blame this dude because we already know what it was. I even said this on a podcast. I said that Mike Zimmer is not going to allow Michael Thomas to beat him, and he did not. Michael Thomas made some very crucial catches. And honestly, if a wide receiver wasn't named Michael Thomas, some of them catches that were made probably wouldn't have got made. Jared Cook looked good in the second half. Had to put ABB out for that boy in the first half. Traquan Smith, whatever. That pass that Drew Brees threw to him, and that nickel corner was all over him. Ball was in your hands, bro. You got to catch it. It's playoff football. Playoff football, homie. This is embarrassing, man. I'm not saying that the Minnesota Vikings are a bad football team, because they're not. And I said this, I said this before. I was talking about this on a podcast. I said, man, I respect the heck out of that team. I said, that's a good football team. I mean, look, honestly, it's not a surprise that they won this football game. They good. You know what I'm saying? Defensively, they good. And I ain't gonna lie to you. Like I said, I just feel like sometimes when the Saints are heavy favorites, they play down. Okay. I don't know if they pay attention to what the news be saying when they hot, but they play down to their competition. And I feel like they played down to them. They did not play up to the best of their ability today. And I don't want to hear, and honestly, if you allow the San Francisco 49ers, the number one defense in the National Football League, and you score 46 points on them, their defense is better than the Minnesota Vikings. You put 46 points up, you only can muster up 20 points at home. That was embarrassing. That's absolutely embarrassing. I'll open the floor up to y'all. I'm done. I'm just tired. Like, I'm tired. A part of me feels like the window is closing, or it has closed. And all these people out here that's talking about, oh, you're not real Saints fans, the ones that's out here talking about the window closing. Open your eyes, okay? Open your eyes. The Saints, 2016, 2017, free agent acquisitions has put this team together to make a run. Minneapolis Miracle, 10 seconds, blew it. NFC Championship game, controversial non-call, blew it. This season, wildcard round of playoffs, 13-3, playing at home, blew it. You had an opportunity. These were some of you probably don't know. Some of you do. This was the best Saints team that ever assembled. Ever. Like, honestly, these last few years, this was the best Saints team that has ever been assembled. Go back and look. This ain't no 2009 dude talking to you. This ain't no 06 post-Katrina dude talking to you. I've been a Saints fan since Scruppy was a pup. You feel me? I've been a Saints fan since, I don't know, Muppet Babies was on TV. Pup named Scooby-Doo. Man, look, Fantastic Max, whatever cartoon you want to talk about from the late 80s, I've been a Saints fan. My grandmother is the biggest Saints fan in history, dating back to Archie Manning. My grandmother, she probably gonna get upset with me for saying this. My grandfather is a minister, okay? We had church at 11 o'clock. All right. We got out of church like around 1 o'clock, because y'all know how I go at them churches now. We got out of church at 1 o'clock. My grandfather had to get a ride home, because soon as the benediction hit, my grandmother is pedal in motion towards the house to watch the second half of the Saints game. She loves the Saints. Diehard Saints fan. Win, lose, draw, we're watching the Saints game. We go back to blackout games when you was listening to Jim Henderson on the radio. I say that to say this. This was the best teams that the Saints have ever assembled, and they have squandered these opportunities. You can make an argument that the Saints should have been a Super Bowl at least twice. At least twice out of the last 3 years. I'm tired of hearing about, man, I got to have faith. You got to have hope. How much hope and faith you need? 13-3 back-to-back seasons? That's a whole lot of hope right there. That's a whole lot of belief right there. And you can't get the job done. The floor is yours. Jasmine Garcia says, pissed. Usually I don't use profanity on this, but I understand people's frustration. I would let it slide today. Not going to acknowledge the F-bombs or the S-H-I-T. I'm not S-words, B-words. I'm not acknowledging that, but I can understand that. Some of the profanity we will allow for this episode, okay? But I do want to say this, before I go on this, I got to mention this, okay? I want to say happy birthday to my nephew, Kalen, okay? Look, I'm sorry that your Uncle Timmy, that's what they call me. Your Uncle Timmy is going at it, upset right now. But I love you, man. This show is dedicated to you. And, I hope you have, a wonderful birthday. He turned 9 today. So let's go ahead and get this party started. ATL's finest, my man. One and done. Yeah, one and done. ATL finest, where your team been at since week 6? Huh? Where your team been at? Look, the Atlanta Falcons, I got to give them some credit. They did beat the Saints and they did beat the 49ers, but y'all suck, dude. Work on trying to get y'all offense together. Work on trying to get some better draft picks. You're probably not going to go anywhere next season because, quite frankly, you kept the GM and the head coach. Okay, so why don't you all try to work on that? Why don't you try to work on trying to get Julio Jones more end zone catches? How about working on trying to get Devontae Freeman back to where he originally was? How about trying to get Matt Ryan to act as if he's a decent quarterback? Until that happens, ATL finest, it's not much you can say about us because for the last 3 seasons, the Saints have won 3 division titles. I can't remember the last time that the Atlanta Falcons actually won a division title. Probably have to go back to the game that when they went to the Super Bowl, right? The year they went to the Super Bowl that was the actual and most embarrassing moment in history of NFL sports, blowing a 25-point lead in the Super Bowl. Oh, don't get it twisted. Just because the Saints fans are down today don't mean that we forgot about the embarrassment that y'all sustained. Like, come on, man. Let's just be serious about this. Focus on your squad, okay? And don't worry about the 3-time division champions because at the same time, the Saints have had a better record than y'all, better offensive efficiency than y'all, better defensive efficiencies than y'all, more turnovers than y'all, higher percentage in the red zone than you all. So, shouts out to you, ATL finest. I'm mad at Peyton and Peyton only. Horrible play calling. Absolutely. Horrible play calling. Absolutely. I ain't even gonna comment on that. Kamara runs the ball with no authority. I don't know. He running like he got empty pockets. Okay. Maybe he's trying to save himself for a big contract here, but honestly, he running. Look, his value is depreciating as we speak. Okay. Every run he made when he ain't finishing plays. And what in the world was he thinking? What in the world was this dude thinking? Drew Brees threw him the ball. He was wide open. He turns his back and starts backpedaling as if somebody was going to hit him. Turn up and go up the field. I keep telling y'all, man, something ain't right about Alvin Kamara this season, man. Y'all, like, for real. I heard he hurt. I heard he's saving himself for the playoffs. Well, in the playoffs, I mean, it was basically the same what I seen regular season. Don't blame the defense. Darren, thank you very much. You're absolutely right. Anybody blaming the defense don't know football. I told y'all, I'm probably not going to be the most popular dude tonight, but I'm calling it for what it is. If you out here blaming the defense and saying the defense, the defense blew it, the defense this, defense, whatever, man. We've been talking about this for years. The defense needs to get better. They have gotten better. Okay? Are they the Legion of Boom? No. Are they the 85 Bears? No. Are they the 2000 Ravens? No, they are not. But they're better than they have been in the past. Okay? And they laid it out there. Demario Davis played his heart out. Craig Robinson came out there. He was balling out. Janoris Jenkins was balling out. Mario Edwards Jr. was balling out. I seen Anyamata was out there getting penetration. So them dudes was out there balling. The offense didn't pick up the slack. The offense was getting 3 and out. Squandering drives. Like, come on, man. Knock it off. I don't want to hear nothing about no defense, man. That was all Peyton and Breeze and Dennis Allen play calling. I'm over Dennis Allen. I'm over him. Is the defense improving? Yeah. But the more things change, the more they stay the same. I'm hoping. I'm going to be honest. I heard in the news and the media I heard that people were like possibly looking at him to be somebody head coach. Have at it. Let's try to get somebody in here that can see what they actually have and make some of these changes so I can stop seeing PJ Williams go out there. Stop seeing these same usual suspects that's giving up big plays over and over and over again. So maybe if somebody else come in, maybe things will get better. But it's been too many games. It's been too many games that the New Orleans Saints have given up big plays late in games. The team has the best record since 2017, 34-11, yet 0 Super Bowls. Peyton is a great coach, but under pressure, he will get out coached every time. The thing about it is, Invictus, he doesn't get out coached. He out coaches himself. See, Sean Payton is a perfectionist. Sean Payton, I think he has some OCD about him. He want to dot every I and cross every T. And in the process, the T's have been crossed and the I's have been dotted, but he's still looking at it sideways like it don't really look like a T. It look more like he overthinks himself. He overthinks himself. That 3rd and 1 got me. You running a shotgun formation on a 3rd and 1. Empty backfield. Don't give that homeless man any attention. I don't know what a homeless man is. Tragic. Time for Breeze to go. The way I feel right now, I'm not going to say it. I'm just going to say that Drew Brees is the reason why the Saints lost this game today. I could care less about football. Absolutely. I don't care about football. I don't care who go to the Super Bowl. I really don't care. Taysom was outstanding. Yes, he was. I feel like my boy said this. Shouts out to my guy Brandon. You allowed to debate him. I'm gonna be 100. If Teddy Bridgewater was the starting quarterback of the New Orleans Saints in this game, they probably would have won. Because I feel like there was a couple plays where the offensive line broke down. Teddy Bridgewater is not a guy that likes to run, but he will get out the pocket and he will try to improvise. And you combine that with Taysom Hill out there balling like that, the score wouldn't have been close. I just want people to understand this. The score wouldn't have been close. Do y'all see, like, every time Taysom Hill was running that ball, positive things happen? Because you had to respect so many things. You had to respect his ability to throw the ball downfield, which he did. You got to respect the fact that he can't hurt you in a running game. You know what I'm saying? He can or the RPO, the read pass option. You know what I'm saying? A run pass option. He can hurt you in so many ways. So you got to respect that. So with Drew Brees, man, they already know it's going to be a bunch of close intermediate routes. It's going to be nickel, dime, penny, and quartering down the field. With Teddy Bridgewater has the capability of throwing the ball down the field. Teddy Bridgewater has the capability to scramble on the run. And you combine that with Taysom Hill, bro, we talking about going to Lambeau next week. Drew played horrible. Horrible. I was disappointed. I think all the Who Dat Nation is disappointed, except for those people that's out there on WWL that just want to keep on going into the Saints locker room. So they're like, Drew played great. Good, but not great. Drew played awful. Call it for what it is. I will never get a job at WWL after this one. But I'm just calling for what it is. You know, I'm sorry. I got to call it for what it is today. All game. Interception, fumble, sack, horrible. Yep. I agree. Breeze had his worst career postseason game. Looked like 2008 Drew Brees out there. Instead of throwing the ball to the flat to Kamara, he waited for Thomas to get open in the red zone. Yep. And then another thing, like I said, you can't turn the ball over at that time. I didn't know if I was looking at Drew Brees or Josh Allen. Sacked. TJ, I just told you about yesterday. Yep, you sure did, man. You definitely did. Trayshawn, I got to give you credit. You definitely did. Oh, my God, Drew was horrible today, but Sean Payton is to blame. Sean Payton just calling the play. Drew Brees wasn't making real good decisions. Dennis Allen did bad too. I'm gonna just say like late fourth quarter, overtime. Yes, he did. Taysom went crazy. Yeah, that's what I feel bad for. Because Taysom Hill played his heart out. Like Taysom Hill was like breaking tackles, running down the field. Like he wanted it. Taysom wanted it, man. And like I said, I just feel like honestly, I think we got man. Anybody that's talk about these players and these football players don't have egos. I mean, just look at this game. You don't have to tell me. You don't have to tell me about football players having egos and people being selfless and all that kind of stuff. Drew Brees have an ego. Drew Brees throwing that ball down the field to Ted Ginn Jr. when he had two safeties down there. Okay, not one, but two down there. And you throwing the ball down the field. Hasn't completed a downfield pass of over 30-plus yards all season long. Most of the time, the guys catch it around the 20, 25-yard mark, and then they go yard with it. You just so happen to throw that ball down the field after Taysom Hill drives the team down the field on a deep pass to Deontay Harris. I'm just saying. I don't know. I just don't know. I just feel like I think for the first time, I say ever, I think we seen Drew Brees play with his ego instead of like with his brain. I think his ego took over in this game. Payton is to blame, period. Taysom Hill needs to get a shot at quarterback. I have to agree with you on that from what I seen. He should have just taken a sack. Yeah, he should have. Putting the ball out like this. Like who are you, Walter Payton? I don't know. I'm like, late in the game like that, he should have just taken a sack. I have been saying he needs to get about half of the snaps because Brees' inability to scramble. I think the Saints have a very difficult decision to make in the offseason. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think the Saints have a very hard decision to make in the offseason. Me personally, I'll move on. I'm gonna just call it for what it is. Like from what I've seen today, I would move on. And not because of like how he played. It's just like how other players are used. Because Taysom Hill is used to throw the ball down the field because Drew Brees couldn't. He's used in the past. Like, this is a new NFL that we're dealing with, folks. If you notice, the pocket passer is slowly starting to dwindle away. You have these guys that can play the quarterback position. They're not trying to scramble, but they can scramble if need be. So these guys that's like statues in the pocket, they're slowly starting to fade away. And that's the reason why you got people like Taysom Hill in the game, because the RPO game is so strong in the NFL. Like, look what Lamar Jackson is doing out there in Baltimore. Look what he's doing out there. Can you imagine, like, honestly, can you imagine what the Saints can do if they had Taysom Hill playing the same type of offense as Lamar Jackson? Because, in my opinion, Taysom Hill is a better passer than Lamar Jackson. Now, he's not as elusive and all that kind of stuff, but he's about it on the same speed as Lamar Jackson. Okay, but at the same time, like, can you imagine what the Saints would be if they added that dynamic to the offense? But Sean Payton understands that you have to have somebody to compensate for that type of game. So, me personally, I think the writing was on the wall anyway. Honestly, I thought because Teddy Bridgewater re-signed with the Saints, somebody promised him a job next season. I will be highly surprised. I'm gonna be honest with you. I will be highly surprised if the Saints don't re-sign Teddy Bridgewater. I will be highly surprised if they allow him to go. I don't know about that. Honestly, I'm thinking in my mind that a conversation was had with Drew Brees There's no way that they will allow him to come into that organization or re-sign him if they didn't have a conversation with Drew about his future. I don't see it. I mean, go back to the articles in the offseason. Teddy Bridgewater, agent, says that he is thinking about going to Miami because Sean Payton is considering a Cowboy job. Think about it. Think about it, Who Dat Nation. Why would he care if he's only signing a 1-year contract to be a backup? Okay? Why would he care if Sean Payton moves on after next season? If Sean Payton moves on, then you move on, right? So why would it matter so much to Teddy Bridgewater if he just signed a 1-year contract if Sean Payton leaves? It's because he was promised something. I keep telling people this. Watch the Redskins Monday Night Football game. Drew Brees' speech. He said, the record is good, but that is not the reason that I came back. Go and watch the speech. Why would he say that if he wasn't contemplating retirement? No, the Saints defense was outstanding. You can't play Dennis Allen allowing 20 points to the most explosive play action offense in the league. Amazing. Yeah, he did a good job, but I'm over him. You know what I'm saying? Like, how many times like you gonna get beat deep, have your safeties and your cornerbacks out of position and late in the game? I've been thinking about it all season. Taysom Hill. We choked in the playoffs in 3 years. 3 years, that's embarrassing. That's BS. We trash in the clutch, TJ. Simple as that. Yep. I mean, look at it. I mean, you ain't even got to look at this game. I'm just being honest, Who Dat Nation. We got to be honest with ourselves. We can be Saints fans, but we got to be real. What have y'all seen? What have y'all seen over the last 3 seasons? Choke jobs. We can talk about the NFC Championship game, controversial non-call, but I can talk about an interception by Demario Davis that set the Saints up in the goal line, and they didn't get any points. And you know what? This game kind of started the same way. Adam Thielen fumbles the football, the Saints get into the red zone, and they still can't. They come away with a field goal. Who's to say if the Saints can get inside of the end zone? And to be honest with you, the Saints should have got inside the end zone. Let me take you to second down. Second down, Drew Brees throws the ball behind Jared Cook. If he would have put the ball in front of Jared Cook would have caught the ball and he would have scored a touchdown. Plays like that are important. Plays like that matter. So for all those people out there that's talking about, oh man, I believe I got faith, that's cool. But be realistic. What we've seen over these past 3 years have been choke jobs. You have wasted your draft picks, and now you have to pay these guys. You have to pay them. Marcus Williams going into his 4th year. You got to figure out if you want to pay him. Marshawn Lattimore. I mean, you can give him a 5th-year option, but you still going to have to pay him. Alvin Kamara. You're going to have to pay him. Ryan Ramczyk. Oh, you think that all pro bid that he just got, you don't think that you're going to have to pay him? Demario Davis contract is coming up. He's an all pro. I mean, you tell me. Wasted. I stopped watching at halftime because of Sean Payton's play calling. I was listening to it, but I was walking out the room. I was like holding Paxton, holding my son. And I'm like, my goodness. Like when Drew Brees fumbled that football, I was over. I was over it. I was like, oh my God. I said, man, this ain't gonna end good. Alvin Kamara made a few mistakes too, but it's all love. We'll shake back. I ain't tripping. Well, I am Nashville. I'm tripping a lot. I am tripping. I'm sorry. I'm tripping tonight. I'm tripping. Like I'm tired. Every year, man, the Saints, they lost in 10 seconds, but I'm still gonna say who that. The referees, they screwed us, but I'm still gonna say who that. The Saints lost in a wild card round with a 13-3 record, lost to an inferior team with a mediocre quarterback at best, but I'm still gonna say who that. How many times are we like? Aren't you tired? Like, aren't you tired? Like, aren't you tired of dealing with this? Aren't you tired? Like, aren't you tired of dealing with this foolishness? Like, it wouldn't hurt so bad if the Saints were inferior to the teams they playing, but they better than the teams they playing. They're better. That's what makes it hurt even worse. That they're better than the team that they playing. The circumstances are working in their favor. They playing at home. Despite the fact that it's a wild card game, they playing at home. I'm sorry, man. I can't no more. I can't no more with the man. I can't. Like, how many times we gonna deal with this? 615 lifetime who that fan. I'm glad I didn't watch the whole game. Oh, and Marcus Williams finally made a tackle, knocking out Lattimore, who played horrible today. Might I add, then wanted to fight Aaron Glenn because he was calling him out. Yep. Man, I don't know. Horrible loss, sad. Refs calls it. Who that, bruh? 615. You honestly think we would have beat the Packers? Yep, I honestly think that. Because but you know the weird thing about it is the teams that have played outstanding at home over the years have been playing better on the road. The Saints play better on the road than they have been at home. So do I think they would have beat the Packers? Yep, I do. I really do. Because honestly, I think the Minnesota Vikings defense is better than the Packers defense. Made Kirk Cousins look like a Pro Bowl quarterback. Oh, I mean, that seems like this is just a reoccurring thing. Made Jared Goff look like a all-pro. Made Case Keenum look like an all-pro. Made Jimmy Garoppolo look like an all-pro. Made Kirk Cousins look like an all-pro. We got beat in the trenches. 704 in here. Yep. Worst game I have seen from Drew. Yeah, I got to go back to that Thursday night Atlanta Falcon game when he threw 5 interceptions. This up there with that game, in my opinion. For what was on the line and the way that he was playing, this was the worst game Drew Brees ever played. We were so horrible, we lost the damn coin toss. Facts. Nashville, when the Saints lost that coin toss, I'm going to be honest with you. When they lost the coin toss, I knew the game was over. I was like, I don't see it. I don't see it. And, honestly, that kind of let Drew Brees off the hook because now you can go back and say, man, Drew Brees' defense let him down, but I don't think you even going to get that scapegoat today, Mr. Brees. I'm sorry. Everybody saw that. Everybody saw Taysom Hill outplay you. You got outplayed by your backup quarterback. I mean, everybody saw it. Rams, they were only in because the refs kept them in. Breeze lost it today, but Breeze lost to the Zeros in both 17 and 18. We need to let PJ Williams go, Drew Brees go, and trade AK. I don't think you need to trade Alvin Kamara, but I do think that you need somebody that can complement him. Honestly, I think they need to use Latavius Murray more. And if you're not going to use Latavius, they got some good running backs coming in the draft. Try to get one of those guys. The Saints D-line is garbage. Yeah, they was getting whooped by a mediocre offensive line. We lost at every level. We lost because of Peyton. Embarrassing on Sean Payton. I agree with you 100%, TJ. We can still be diehard fans, but also give constructive criticism. We want another Super Bowl, period. So we have some work to do. It's gonna be tough, man. I'm telling you, you're gonna have to this damn rebuild mode. They ain't gonna be able to sign all these guys back. Fan square loss, not on the refs. We had too many chances. Yep. I don't want to hear nothing about the referees. I don't. We can talk about it was a push-off. It was a push-off, man. We pulling at straws right now. That's what we doing. We pulling at straws. Saints had opportunity to win this game. I mean, referees, like honestly, this was a well-officiated game. I'm gonna be called for what it is. Like this was well officiated. We can't We can't even talk about some of it. Like you can talk about the JT Gray block or whatever like that cost the same 40 yards. Nah, like the rules kind of state what he can't do what he actually did. You can argue that. You can say it was a helmet to helmet on Alvin Kamara. I mean, two calls, man. I mean, come on, man. The Saints, this game shouldn't even have been close. The way that the Saints defense played in the first, like even though Dalvin Cook was, getting yards, I mean, they still wasn't scoring. Marcus Williams needs to go. He's a choke. Hurt Lattimore, Bridgewater, and Hill. Stop talking about Marcus Williams. That wasn't on him. No one is blaming the refs on this game. We already read that. Thielen was balling. We need a number 2 receiver in the playoffs. It was on him. He played in the secondary, don't he? That was the offensive line, TJ. The offensive line played bad in the first half. They cleaned it up in the second half. Marcus Williams is horrible, can't tackle, underwhelming in coverage. Me personally, I will concede. I know I've been on Marcus Williams all season defending him, but I would go with C.J. Gardner-Johnson. I would go with C.J. Gardner-Johnson, and I would try to get me another safety in the draft. I mean, that's what I would do because C.J. Gardner-Johnson is more of a strong safety, so he can play like I would let Von Bell go. I would let Marcus Williams go. I would try to get me, even though Marcus Williams, he a ball hog, but whatever. I would try to get me a safety that can. I would be a safety that can tackle than a safety that can just pick the ball off left and right. It'll be nice to have somebody like that, but this dude always going at people kneecaps. You know what I'm saying? Like wrap somebody up. You know what I'm saying? Like this man is the most infamous kneecap tackler I ever seen in my life. When I could think about Deshaun Watson when he ran that scramble towards the goal line. You're a safety, dude. Lower your shoulder on him. He's going at the dude kneecaps. This man is a kneecap tackler, man. I just don't get it. Like, come on, dude. They were bum rushed all day. Marshawn ain't no number 1. Dude get beat by a number 2 receiver. Man, Adam Thielen is good. Adam Thielen is a really good receiver. I'm gonna just call it for what it is, but I don't know. Like he shrinks in a moment to me. Like you can't get mad if your coordinator calling you out, and that's not even just him. Everybody say that. Everybody talk about his work ethic or lack thereof, and you gonna come out with a statement talking about, man, I ain't trying to hear stuff about Minnesota Miracle. It was cool and all, when it happened, but it's over with. And then you're gonna talk about you want all the smoke. Can't be talking like that if you ain't gonna back it up, bro. Janoris Jenkins called Kirk Cousins a game manager. I mean, he went out there and he balled. I mean, and that's another thing. We've been talking about this for months. How the Saints need a number 2 corner. Eli Apple wasn't it. You talking about squandering a chance. Now you have to make a decision. You only owe Janoris Jenkins $1 million this season. So basically, you're getting a kind of like all-pro talent for $1 million. And now the season is over, and you got to decide if you're going to pick up this guy's $10 million contract. So congratulations, New Orleans. You finally had a person on the opposite side of your number 1 corner, and you still couldn't get the job done. Wow. Ain't that crazy? That is insane. And I'm talking about, man, Janoris was balling out there today. He was out there balling. Dude, Janoris Jenkins was amazing. Got to resign that dude. Yeah, he was balling out there. You can't argue with your coach. Just go out and play harder. Teams always getting behind Marcus Williams. Kamara was trash all day. Embarrassing. Kamara is still hurt. I ain't trying to hear that Kamara is still hurt excuse. Don't understand why 7 wasn't in the game more towards the end. They watched the Falcons game and attacked our interior. Yep, they watched the same game. It was like watching the Falcons game all over again. He was always looking at the sidelines. Jet sweep on 3rd down. Drew ain't felt that much pressure in years. the need to let Taysom Hill finish the drive in the fourth. Saints needed to run the ball, and they didn't. Didn't do enough. Saints O-line played bad. Armstead and Ramczyk got beat down. No, Ramczyk didn't. I don't know what you. I don't know. I don't know what you talking about on that one. Ramczyk playing, man. Ramczyk was balling. Like Ramczyk was balling. I can tell you was getting whooped. Who was getting whooped was Andrews Pete and War Daddy Larry Warford. That's who was getting whooped. Andrews Pete, like, why do you think that the Minnesota Vikings put Everson Griffin, and they put Danielle Hunter on the inside? Because they're more weaker on the inside. Who's on the inside? Andrews Pete and a young Eric McCoy, who's played in his first playoff game. Why do you think they actually, they tried to switch sides? Did you notice that Larry Warford wasn't playing at the right guard? You see him over there on the left guard side? Why do you think they were doing that? Because Andrews Pete was getting whooped. Ryan Ramczyk, by the way, I know y'all seen that run by Taysom Hill when Ramczyk, boom, hit the offensive lineman and boom, kick to the outside. You know what I'm saying? Allowing the running back to get, get upfield. Man, don't tell me nothing about no Ramczyk, man. Like, Ramczyk, like, if you want to beat up on somebody, nah, bro, not Ramczyk. That man was balling. Armstead, yeah, I seen him get beat a couple times off the edge, but Ramczyk was balling. Why do we always play worse at home? Nah, we just played worse at home this season. Kamara, Breeze, playing Lattimore, got that bag to throw this game, period. Drew Soda's out for MVP award. Watch. Man, Drew Brees ain't getting no MVP award. The MVP award going to Lamar Jackson. Okay? Man, you would think that somebody got the bag. Lattimore is nice. He just be playing pretty in a fist fight. Yep. We played to lose. I hate to say it, but Drew's poor decision making, coupled with black O-line play, I guess you mean bad O-line play, and an abandonment of the run lost us the game. Oh, man, Sean Payton ain't trying to run the football. I mean, that makes too much sense to run the football. And he won't get mad at the meat man at Rouse's because the meat man told you right. Maybe if you listen to the meat man, maybe the Saints would have been in the division round. But he doesn't like Murray or something. When he runs, he gets positive yards. And then the dude was motivated. I mean, the dude played for this team. He was motivated. But that goes to show you the impatience of Sean Payton. He gets 5 yards. Good, let's run it again. He gets 1 yard. No, we ain't going to do that again. Pass. Like, come on, man. Like, run the football. You got to, like, who cares? I'm still not over that 3rd and 1. Who cares? Like, honestly, who cares if they know you're going to run the football? If you can't get 1 yard, you don't deserve it. The bottom line, the offensive line, defensive line were more physical than us. Yep, that's true. This was the worst thus far. Yep. Also, Sean Payton refuses to run Latavius Murray in favor of Alvin Kamara, and I just don't get it. Alvin Kamara is not more physical than Latavius Murray is running the football. The running back that Sean Payton is expecting Alvin Kamara to be, he is not it right now. He is not it. He is not that running back right now. Who picked the white losing uniforms? Black is the home colors. Yeah, that was a shock. I'm like, I thought they were going to come out in all black. But they haven't lost the game. This was the first game they lost with those all-white uniforms this season. So, I mean, but, man, who cares? Like, I don't care about nothing about a new uniform, man. They can play in some Bozo the Clown outfits, all I care, as long as you win a football game. Lattimore wasn't the problem. Marcus had over-the-top responsibility and stunk as usual. Not to mention, he can't tackle. The sad thing about this is Marcus Williams, the Saints ain't going to sign him. He's going to go somewhere, and he's going to be a really good safety. I really see that. I think he's going to go to somebody team And the same issues that, I seen with, like I said, early in the career of Malcolm Jenkins. Now Malcolm Jenkins, is a credible safety. I feel like it's going to be the same way with him. Kamara acting like he can't without Mark Ingram. Tiptoe. So sad after the embarrassing loss. Underused for sure. Alvin is the OB drama queen. I don't want to go that far with him. I don't want to call him that. Trade Kamara. The refs were trash. I'm not blaming the refs today. Refs lack making fair calls. I'm sorry. Chance Morris, look, man, I respect what you're saying, but I just can't blame the refs today. I can't. The Saints had too many opportunities to be in this game, and they squandered it. Stop it. It was the O-line. Yeah, the O-line. The O-line made Drew Brees fumble. The O-line made Drew Brees throw the ball down the field and throw an interception. But it's just amazing to me. The O-line was the same O-line when that was blocking for Taysom Hill when he was breaking tackles. It was the same O-line that when he threw the ball downfield. Come on, man. He'll play better running than Elvin. Yep. Gail Benson don't pay Kamara one penny. I'm not going to say that. I think the man deserves some money. I don't think he needs to be the highest paid running back after what I seen, though. The O-line let them get in Brees' face all day and didn't run block in the first half. Okay, in the second half, they improved a lot. They keyed in on Kamara. Those breakaway days down the field are over. I'm going to be honest with you. Alvin Kamara, back in the day, man, he was able to get, even though the O-line wasn't, blocking really well, he still was like breaking the first tackle and getting up the field. I've been saying go get a Crabtree or a Dez. Yeah. One of them. The Saints need to get a young wide receiver. Dalvin Cook went out of bounds and the clock didn't stop, which wasted 30 seconds. Speaking of the clock. The Saints in the fourth quarter. Y'all know where I'm going with this. The Saints get down the field. There's 21 seconds left, right? 21 seconds. They get called for a illegal shift, which calls for a 10-second runoff. Saints had one timeout. Instead of using that one timeout to stop the clock with 21 seconds left, you decide to take the 10-second runoff to put the ball at 11 seconds. And what do? You try to throw a screen pass that Drew Brees threw into the ground to set up a Will Lutz field goal. The most conservative thing I've ever seen in my entire life. 21 seconds left. Your quarterback is Drew Brees, okay? Call a timeout. Save the seconds, okay? You throw the ball down the field. You tell your people to hurry they behind up if you can't get the ball to the outside, to the out of bounds or anything like that. That's what you do. And maybe, you throw the ball and somebody catch the ball with like 15 seconds left on the sidelines, or somebody catch the ball in the middle of the field with like 15 seconds left. Y'all hustling up. You still spike the ball with like 7 seconds left. You try to be aggressive. That's what you do. But Sean Payton overthinking himself once again. He's looking at the fact, the offensive line ain't really been blocking today, so I don't want Drew Brees to get sacked and take us out of field goal range. Bruh, you play to win the game. Ain't that what Herm Edwards say? 21 seconds left. Bruh, you try to score a touchdown, bump the field goal stuff. If just so happened that you have to get a field goal, fine. Okay? And not to mention that you squandered one of your timeouts because you couldn't get the play out the huddle in time. So instead of avoiding trying to get a delay of game, you had to call a quick timeout. We ain't going to talk about that. You could have had 2 timeouts, but I digress. 1 timeout, you get the penalty, you call the timeout, 21 seconds left. Drew Brees can still scope the field. Don't see nobody, throw the ball away, okay? Boom. No harm, no foul. They didn't even try. They played for overtime. They played for overtime. They didn't even try. I've been saying, I already read that. Smith had to catch that. Yep. Bang, bang, Niners game. Yeah, man. Good luck to the 49ers. Hopefully y'all can win it all. Because obviously, well, it's pretty obvious that the Saints ain't going to win. Offensive line was a problem, but Breeze held the ball too long. They should have used the short drops, rollouts of Taysom Hill. This receiving corps can't get separation if their lives depended on it. The Vikings played the F out of us. Breeze sold us out for an MVP award. True that. Plain and simple, they came out and smacked us in the mouth. Breeze did have enough time on some of those plays. I agree. Trade AK. We need to keep Peyton, but I'm sorry he makes poor decisions. Trade Cam Jordan. Nah, bro. I ain't trading no Cam Jordan. Stop that. Yep, not even excited at all for next year. It's going to crumble. Tank next season and get Lawrence. Might not be a bad idea. I'm just joking. I mean, but honestly, man, if you can get somebody like Trevor Lawrence, that'd be great. But I don't think the Saints will ever just be that bad for them to be picking like that. He's going to be a first pick overall. Man, the Saints got to, really tank. Bucks the new king of the South. Boy, stop. I mean, your quarterback had a special 30 for 30 special. He ain't even got no deal with ESPN. 30 touchdowns, 30 interceptions, and this dude still talking about he the best. He cut down on the turnovers. He'll be the best. That man delusional. Well, next, I'm done with Sean's team. Go Tigers, LSU Tigers, DBU. Yeah, man. Shouts out to the LSU Tigers. Hopefully they can win one for Louisiana. When Ingram left, Kamara act like he lost his girlfriend. Yeah, he definitely played different, man. I guess, I don't know, man. Like, Mark Ingram is a fire starter, man. They miss something in that locker room. Like his presence in there is definitely missed, greatly missed. But hey, what position should the Saints address in the offseason? I'm gonna make a podcast on that. I'm gonna leave you guessing on that. Okay, I'm gonna make a podcast on that. Cam did nothing. He had a sack in the game, and he got a couple hurries. He got home a couple times, man, but just not fast enough. Let's see. Joby said the same thing. Kamara was in love with Mark. Payton needs to sign some LSU DBs and stop messing with Ohio State. Pooh Wee. Sean loves Ohio players. Yep. Man, like the Bucks are not going to win the division, man. Stop that. Where was Cam Jordan? Breeze can pack his ish tonight and retire. I knew it was over when the Saints defense was fighting on the sidelines. Yeah, they was imploding. They was imploding on that sideline. That's something you normally don't see. And that in the curse of Joe Buck still continues. Like when I heard Joe Buck was calling the game, man, like just keep Joe Buck away from the Saints, please. Like let him go out there with the Cowboys or something. Like Joe Buck, I don't like him, man. I feel like I'm kind of superstitious. When I seen I was thinking like maybe like one of those other guys can call the game or something like that. But when I seen Joe Buck, I'm like, man, why? Yep, didn't use the timeout at all. He played scared. You right, TJ. I didn't understand that either. Why didn't they just use the timeout to save the clock? I just don't get it. The shift call was trash. Yep, didn't use the timeout at all. He's played scared. Let me see. Already read that. Get Devontae Parker in the offseason. You're not gonna get Devontae Parker because he just signed the extension with the Dolphins. He was moving the ball downfield. We probably could have scored. Yep, because they was playing. Because I mean, they were playing prevent, so that leaves the middle of the field wide open. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm superstitious, man. But I don't want to do anything to take away from the Minnesota Vikings victory. You know, they did beat the Saints. I mean, they were just a better team today. But I ain't gonna lie to you, it was some very weird, unconventional, some very funny looking stuff that I was seeing. You know, some very funny stuff I was seeing out there. Very uncharacteristic things coming from people that I would never thought it would come from. Oh, let's see. Stop messing with Ohio State players. They are overrated. Ohio State have good players. They have good players. I don't want to take that away from them. Let's see. Somebody said Drew Bortles. And he played like Blake Bortles today. I can't even hate on that. Let's see. No more Ohio. Y'all really on Ohio State players right now. Peyton is a OC, not a coach, or he has lost it. Like, man, stop it, man. Sean Payton is a really good coach. He's a really good coach. He just sometimes he overcoaches himself. 49ers can still suck it. TJ, you let certain players slide. I see like Cam. I ain't letting nobody slide. You know, I ain't letting nobody slide. But the man did get home. And that's the thing about it. Like, I don't just watch because a player make a splash play. And all of a sudden, you know what I'm saying, I don't look at their whole body of work and what they was doing. See, I think people need to focus on the overall game, okay? I think people don't focus on the overall game and see these players play. It's like if this person, if the quarterback throws the receiver the ball and the Saints player makes a tackle, boom, that guy out there balling. Not looking inside of the trenches, not looking at the fact that this guy is getting hurt. He's not looking at the fact that the ball is trying to get removed out of the quarterback's hand at a certain time. I mean, all of that plays a role. So you can't just say that a person wasn't out there doing his job because he wasn't making splash plays. He was getting home. It was a couple plays that he actually got home, but you know what I'm saying, and took Kirk Cousins to the ground. So I can't sit up here and say the man didn't play. He wasn't getting home, but you can't say this when it was running to the right side. He wasn't getting to the right side. Where most of the yards Dalvin Cook was coming from was coming to the left. Is Cam Jordan on the left side? Nope. So a defensive end job is to get to the quarterback, but it's also his job to set the edge, in which Cam Jordan does really, really well. So go back and look. Go look at the stats. Go look at how many times they ran to the left side. Okay? Opposite of Cam Jordan. That's all I'm saying. I don't pick and choose. I watch the whole body. I watch the whole game. I watch offensive line. I watch defensive line. I watch linebackers. I don't just focus on the ball just going downfield. Oh man, PJ Williams suck. Oh man, Marcus Williams suck. Oh, dudes can make tackles. Dudes can make tackles. Dudes can make stops. Guys can get pressures. That still counts. That still counts. If a guy gets close to the quarterback and makes some kind of rattle and knocks off his timing and he doesn't connect with his receiver, he still did his job, despite the fact that we won't give that credit unless he takes him to the ground. So that's the reason why I'm not getting on Cam Jordan. Go look at his stats. Go look at how many hurries he had in the game. Go see how many pressures he got in the game. So I'm not going to beat up on a dude that was actually doing pretty well. If you want to beat up on somebody, beat up on Trey Hendrickson because he was on the left side. He wasn't getting pressure on the quarterback. I mean, come on. Let's see. We should draft Jalen Rigger. He's an animal, bro. Man, they need to draft somebody. Let's see. Man, y'all check out Chuck Tormac's video. Y'all check him out, man. I see him keep on doing that. You know, keep on putting his notification up there. You know, y'all check him out, man. Check and see what he got to say. Sean Payton called a horrible game. What has Cam done for you to keep him and pay all that money? Heavy C, are you kidding? Heavy C, are you kidding? Is this some kind of joke? Are we being? Are you trolling right now? Cam Jordan over the last 3 seasons have had 12 sacks, 13 and a half sacks, 15 and a half sacks. Last season, he was a first team All Pro. This season, he's a second team All Pro. The guy is the unsung leader of that defense. Um, since what 2015, he has the highest percentage of setting an edge on running backs, meaning that running backs don't run to his side. I mean, the man is a monster. I mean, come on, man. Like what are we doing here? You know, like all he does is get more sacks over the past 3 seasons. Like this man right now, I think we number 2 all time in sacks or something like that from the Saints. Like, what does he do? A lot. The defense tried to do their thing, but Sean Payton failed his team. Corner. Cam is our leading pass rusher. Why the hell would we want to get rid of him? Jameis is a good quarterback. He throws picks under pressure. We definitely need another wide receiver, period, and we need a new DB. We need a new safety, a new DB, wide receiver. Now you need another running back. Gonna need quite a bit. I'm telling y'all, man, the Saints ain't gonna be able to pay all these guys. Hopefully Jeff Ireland can replicate what he did in 2016. Jameis literally ranked second in QBR while under pressure 2 years in a row, only behind Tom Brady. Hey, let me explain something to you, man. Dak Prescott led his team in QBR, right? He was one of the leaders in QBR this past season, right? Why do you think that is? Why do you think that is? Most of the time, QBR doesn't really tell the whole story. QBR is basically like how involved was your quarterback in a game. So let me ask you this. If Jameis Winston throws 3 interceptions, that team scores 3 touchdowns, they're down by 21 points. What do you think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to do? They're going to throw the ball all over the place. Why? Because they're down by 21 points, which helps Jameis Winston's QBR increase because he's so fully involved in the game, because he's throwing the ball all over the place in order to try to right the wrongs that he created. QBR is a garbage stat. It's just a stat that all these media aficionados can try to give credibility to these mediocre quarterbacks. You look at the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, QBR, right? Look at Dak Prescott. Cowboys were getting beat to sleep most of these games. He had to throw them back in it late in the third quarter, late in the fourth quarter. I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed with that, especially if he's the reason why his team is down. And you got to throw it back. You got to throw the ball to get your team back. So I'm not impressed with that. Joe Buck don't call plays. Yeah, but he calls Saints games and they lose a lot. Stephon Diggs threw his helmet. Yeah, he did because Janoris Jenkins was locking him up. Joe Buck sucked. Joe Buck hate the Saints for real. Joe loves Troy. Sean Payton didn't even use Murray or Jared Cook. Stephon Diggs should have gotten a penalty for throwing his helmet. He did on the sideline, so they ain't really weren't paying attention to that. Iceman T, I seen you, man. I seen your video, bro. I feel your pain. I really do. I feel your pain, man. Man, this is just heartbreaking right now. Like, I can't believe the season is over. Like, I can't believe it. I can't believe the season is over. Where all the Traquan Smith supporters at? He is a bust, dude. I've been saying this. Where the hell was Traquan? Yeah, he was absent, man. I can't even argue with you, Ice, man. Honestly, I'm with dude that says Sean Payton is a OC, not a head coach. I've been said this when you had to go get. He's never played for the team. Well, that really don't matter, man. I mean, they had other people like that come from other organizations that talk to team, and he has a good relationship with Ronnie Lott. So I mean, nothing wrong with that. I will say this though. Sean Payton and Nick Wright from First Things First said this. He said, we look at Sean Payton as being one of the most revered head coaches of all time, but you have 5 straight losing seasons and you get bounced out of the playoffs 3 years in a row. Like how, how is this, like he even starting to be in this conversation? I'm gonna be honest with you. Sean Payton is a Super Bowl 44 win away from being Marty Schottenheimer. I don't know if some of you knew who Marty Schottenheimer was. He was an incredible coach. He coached the Cleveland Browns back in the day, had them like going to the AFC Championship like almost every year, and put up double-digit wins every single year, and yet couldn't make it to the Super Bowl. He is basically like a Super Bowl appearance away from being Marty Schottenheimer. That's the way I look at him. That Super Bowl saved him in a lot of ways. But at the end of the day, you got to call it for what it is. Like the Saints looking like a bunch of choke artists over the past couple of years. I'm very upset. I have to be honest like this. Being a Saints fan, being like a true diehard Saints fan, like it's hard to look at your team and look in the mirror and just say, man, my team just don't got it. They just don't have it. Like the last 3 seasons, like the Saints could have easily been to the NFC Championship game if they would have, not had that Minnesota Miracle. Had opportunities in the NFC Championship game against the Rams, and now today you go 13-3 and you lose like this at home. I mean, it's just embarrassing. Nashville Saint says, I'm rooting for the Ravens because of Ingram. I probably won't even watch the Super Bowl. I don't know, man. I don't know if I'm going to watch it either. I don't know if I'm going to be able to watch that. I'm supporting Mark Ingram, though. I got to root for Mark Ingram. Hopefully, the Ravens can get the job done. Y'all were too worried about divisionals. You counted the Vikes as an automatic W. That's what I said. That's what I was thinking about. I said, man, that's why I kept on saying we can get past the Vikings. How was David not a Pro Bowler? I don't know, but he an all-pro. That man was out there playing his heart out. I'm just hurt, man. I think we all are, Chef. I think we all are. Wyatt, what's going on, man? I went to the game and I just feel numb. I don't know how I even feel. I get it. I get it. I feel sorry he didn't get his ring this year. Man, it was his fault. We talking about Drew Brees. Mario Davis was a beast, and those run stops. Yep. We stunk today, and it was embarrassing. Second time losing to this team in the playoff game. Brees' time here is done, and his ego has cost us yet another playoff game. We need a linebacker in the corner. Mario Davis deserve a ring this year. I feel sorry for this dude. Do you think Drew will return next season? I don't know, but the Saints got a real decision to make. Second time Diggs threw his helmet too. We still got LSU, baby. This Taysom team. Cam is not to blame. Get rid of Cam Jordan. Why? So the Tampa Bay Buccaneers can get him AA? Honestly, I don't think Brees is to blame, but I'm a Vikings fan. Calvin, my man, come on now. Look, congratulations, y'all won. Like I said, I can't take nothing from the Vikings. I can't. I can't do it. Like, I'm not even mad at the Vikings. You know what I'm saying? I'm not Vikings, they fans or nothing. Like, they deserve to win this football game. Like, they played a heck of a football game. Yeah, you can't take it away from them. But Drew Brees, I don't know, man. Y'all need to send Drew Brees a fruit basket or something. Because he gift wrapped this game for y'all today. Iceman T, I agree Traquan is a waste of money. He ain't making no money. And the catches he have made, if I was out there that wide open, I could have made them. Well, I tell y'all what, people have been talking about this guy coming in and why this guy hasn't played all season long. Maybe we might see Emmanuel Butler next season. Maybe that might be the guy that can replace him. I'm telling you, man, the Saints got something in store for this dude. There's a reason why they put him, they kind of redshirted him this year. Don't be surprised that man come out being a straight monster next season. TJ, I just want the man to show up when we have huge games, bro. I think we all do. I think we talking about Cam Jordan. I think we all want him to show up. Yeah, Sean Payton needs to go. Hey, why? So Bruce Arians and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers can take over the division. But Cam should have dominated TJ, not Hendricks. Cam was not a factor. He played well, but he didn't dominate. Yeah, that's true. I'll give you that. He didn't dominate the game. TJ, let's see. Cam is good. Next, Lattimore, Breeze, Payton is the problem. I have nothing to look forward to. Done with the NFL this season. Not watching any more games. I might do some podcast purposes. I'm gonna watch the games because I'm still gonna cover the postseason. But man, oh man, this sucks. Breeze didn't lose this game. We lost this game in the trenches. Lewis, I disagree. Drew Brees lost this game. Hawks beat the Eagles 17-9. That's the same score. That's the same score they had earlier this season. Same exact score. Bruh. It was exactly what I wanted to happen. I was like, man, if the Saints can beat the Vikings, they go to Lambeau, they can possibly get that victory over Green Bay. If Seattle can somehow beat the San Francisco 49ers, but now the Vikings go to San Francisco and the Seahawks go to Green Bay. So I have no, honestly, I have no faith that Kirk Cousins is going to beat the San Francisco 49ers. I just don't believe that. That ain't happening. I can't see the Minnesota Vikings beating the San Francisco 49ers in Levi Stadium like that. I just can't see it. I can't say it, bro. I don't know. Anything's possible, but I don't know. It's looking like San Francisco going to the Super Bowl because I think Green Bay gonna lose to Seattle. Now, I'm gonna be honest. I think they're gonna lose to Seattle. AA stop trolling, bruh. In 7 playoff games, not include 2011, he had 5.5 sacks. He is the unsung hero for our defense. Worst game I ever witnessed. I'm not trolling. I'm basking in the new crowning of my team as the new kings of the South. Man, y'all got to win a division first, AA. Y'all got to win a division first. Bro, well, don't blame Breeze when the O-line doesn't block. Man, I'm over blaming the O-line. Like, what does the O-line have to do with him throwing a pick down the field? What does the O-line got to do with him turning the ball over late in the game in the fourth quarter? What do they have to do with that? Even, you know what I'm saying, just take the sack. Like, what is you doing? You like holding the ball, he holding the ball like this, like a loaf of bread, dude. Like, I don't know, man. I'm sorry. That same O-line was blocking for Taysom Hill, and he was, you know what I'm saying, he was making things happen. All I'm saying is, like, I just feel like the statue quarterback is dead. Like in the NFL, I feel like if you are a statue in the pocket in the National Football League, you are not going to be successful. Look at, man, honestly, Tom Brady, Drew Brees, they're the last of a dying breed. You don't see many pocket passes anymore, man. Like most of these, like even Matt Ryan. Like Matt Ryan is not a pocket. He a pocket quarterback, but he'll scramble when need be. You got to have that ability these days. You got to. You can't just stand up in a pocket, man, and roll and be like, if there's an opportunity and you see that the player's breaking down, go out there and slide. Man, leave it all on the field. That's all I'm saying. Like, how many opportunities you going to get? How many opportunities are you going to get? That's all I'm saying. You know, like, man, them statue quarterbacks, they ain't what that is, man. Like, for real, like, pockets are going to break down. These defensive linemen are talented. Like, man, you look at like somebody like Danielle Hunter. This guy's the fastest I think he's like the fastest defensive lineman to like what 50 or 60 sacks or something like that. Like in NFL history, this dude is like a beast. You know what I'm saying? Like this dude is like a beast. You know what I'm saying? Like Everson Griffin, Linval Joseph, man, these guys are good. Hey, you know what I'm saying? That's good on good right there. So, man, you gotta have that ability. You like honestly, like I said, I feel like I'm look, no, it may not be popular, but I really strongly feel like if Teddy Bridgewater, Taysom Hill would have been starting this game, the Saints would have blew out the Minnesota Vikings. This game wouldn't even been close. This would have been like complete domination. It's Drew Brees' inability to get the ball down the field. It's Drew Brees' inability to like prolong plays. Like, can you imagine like if the Saints had a quarterback like Russell Wilson in this game? Like somebody like that. Like, honestly, man, like pocket passes are a dying breed. No meaningful turnover, and y'all best corner got his ankle twisted and his bell rung at the same time by his teammate. Yep, and that set up that Adam Thielen pad because soon they seen Patrick Robinson out there, they start licking their chops. Yeah, but everybody like, man, P-Rob been playing good. P-Rob been playing good. I give him that, but he's just not an outside corner. He was out of position. I don't know, TJ. It might be time to blow this thing up. We can still be a decent team going forward, but we flub too many opportunities. 11, 17, 18, and 19. The last 3 years have been the best Saints teams they ever had, and I feel like they have squandered these opportunities. And I hope not, but who that nation, it might get a little ugly. It might get a little ugly before it get beautiful again. I only said the QBR stat because someone said he bad under pressure. Bucks don't run at all. Yeah, they definitely don't run a football. Bucks know better than to hold the ball. That's a problem. Throw it away. Dak so far it's a joke to compare them. And not really. Drew the GOAT, chill. Can somebody block him? Forever absolute reaction. Okay. Is Drew Brees one of the best quarterbacks of all time? Absolutely. But if you want to sing, if you want to dance and do your pom-poms and stuff like that, this ain't the show for you, man. We keep it real here. We keep it 100. Okay. The group that says that people that criticize Drew Brees are not real Saints fans, I think you probably can find them like on somebody's Facebook page or somebody's YouTube channel, but you ain't gonna get that here. I criticize people who are not doing their job, who haven't been playing up to snuff. That's what you get here. So Drew Brees is the GOAT. He one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. That is true, but he ain't played like it today. So I apologize if you don't like what I'm saying, but there are other groups that are for you that, that are in denial, and it's everybody else's fault when Drew Brees don't play well. It's the kicker's fault. It's the defense fault. It's the cornerback's fault. Never Drew Brees' fault. There's somebody else group around there, you can probably interact with, but y'all can be be delusional and stuff like that, because me personally, I feel like, I can still be a fan and still be real at the same time. And I love every minute of it. Black folk are taking over every position on the field. What that got to do with anything, man? Digo worry. Well, I don't know. Who cares? Like, I don't care what color they is. I don't care if they taking over. Like, man, whoever can play, let them play. If Taysom start, we can have a Lamar Jackson. I'm gonna be honest with you. From what I seen today out of Taysom Hill, like if the Saints played him, shoot, he might be like one of the people that be talking about be the next MVP and all that. I mean, he played outstanding. Like, he showed me something today. I honestly was shocked the way that Taysom Hill played today. I mean, he played out of his mind. Like, it was like he played out of his mind the way that guy played today. And I feel like Drew Brees was jealous of him. I'm just kidding. I just think that his ego like kind of got the best of him too. I mean, these are real human beings right here, man. Saints is over. Yeah, it's over. It's definitely over. Pooh that, blew that. Archangel, man, come on, dude. Man, I went on a rant about the Falcons earlier in the show, so it is what it is. And honestly, like, man, it don't even like honestly, if your team ain't in the playoffs, it don't even hurt me that you're talking about the Saints. You know, like it's so like it's irrelevant. If you're a fan of a team that's still in the playoffs, then you know, like maybe you know what I'm saying, like maybe it hurt just a tad bit, but you know, when your team not in the playoffs and have not been in the playoff for consecutive season, you know, like it really matter that much. Taysom Hill is good. He made a lot of plays today. A lot. That's an understatement. This was the Taysom Hill. This was like Vince Young in a national championship game against USC. That's the way Taysom look out there today. That's what he looked like. He reminded me of Vince Young. The only thing is the Saints didn't win the game. Let's see. What's the point of making the playoffs if you don't even make the bowl? Oh, okay. I mean, ask a lot of teams that because the New England Patriots been dominating over the past, decade and a half. So honestly, if your team is not the Patriots, you really can't say nothing with that type of logic, right? I mean, the team made the playoffs and they won the division 3 straight years. The Saints wrapped up the division by Thanksgiving. That's how trash the rest of this division was. For all those people from the division that want to come and troll, I want y'all to keep that in mind. That is very rare. That's what the Saints done has not been done in 17 years. Okay, that a team has wrapped up the division by Thanksgiving. Okay, so y'all need to get it together. I mean, you want to sit down and troll, but come on, man. Like Thanksgiving, like who is eating turkey? Like usually teams, if you order a team's division championship T-shirt, it usually don't come to like January or something like that, right? Because it takes some time for them to press them and everything like that. Saints fans were wearing division championship shirts for Christmas. Okay, they was able to rock the Saints T-shirt, division championship T-shirts while opening up their present with their families and friends. Okay, so get it together, NFC South, before y'all come trolling. Because honestly, for the exception of the Saints, you all have made the division look absolutely pathetic. So get it together. We used to have respect. People used to respect the NFC South. It used to be one of the most competitive divisions in football, but now the Saints, man, y'all becoming the Saints sons, man, for real. Y'all come the Saints sons. Saints dominate. So I mean, I don't know. Get it together, man. Y'all making y'all like what that Pimp C said, man. Y'all embarrassing us. You know what I'm saying? Y'all embarrassing the division right now. People who team not in the playoffs are just salty. Breed just had a bad game, but it's not only his fault. It's not only his fault, but look. If we putting up like some blame and we playing the blame game and we doing it by percentages, I'm giving Drew Brees 80% of the blame for this loss. 80%. Taysom over Drew Brees or Drew Brews. He has to retire. Taysom Hill is our Steve Young. He can run out of the pocket. He has tightened his throw. Yeah, he has gotten better as a pass thrower of the football. I must say that. If you don't win it all, stats and making history don't matter. Win it all. Now they really gonna disrespect us. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you gotta be able to win it all, man. I mean, honestly, they're looking like some choke artists right now. They're looking like B Rabbit on the first few minutes of 8 Mile. When he just walked off stage, you know what I'm saying, because he blew it. That's kind of what the Saints looking like right now. You know what I'm saying? Like your boy didn't hype you up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, Future, you know what I'm saying? then hype you up saying this man the truth, man. He up next, man. He going crazy, man. He about to go out here destroy all y'all. And then the next thing you know, like you just bomb and walk off stage. That's kind of what the Saints was, man. They Super Bowl favorites. USA Today picked them as Super Bowl favorites. ESPN.com got them as the best team, yada, yada, yada. And now all of a sudden, y'all just lay an egg, man. Like, looking like some choke artists right now. I'm just calling for what it is, man. Y'all looking like straight B-Rabbit right now. That schedule next year is a monster. Yep, because now you're playing all division champions. Breeze can't scramble, extend plays. It's a young man's game at quarterback. Yep, it is, man. It's no disrespect to Drew, but it's true. Arthur Blank, so stupid, he resigned. Dan Quinn, he resigned. Dan Quinn, yeah, that's stupid. Them guys don't know how to pick players. I'm sorry. Watch they've been needing help on defense all season long. Watch they go out there and get another wide receiver. They're gonna be just like the Detroit Lions. And when they go get Charles Rogers and Roy Williams and Mike Williams from USC, talking about they're gonna make a three-headed monster, all bust. I concur with the 80% blame on Breeze. Change needs to be made in the offseason. Matt Ryan is done. Falcons not going nowhere in 10 years. Every time Chopper makes a hype song, we lose. Chopper only had one song. Chopper just trying to eat, man. Y'all just need to understand that. Chopper just trying to eat. Any type of like different variations of Chopper styles that he can try to get a check off of, he gonna milk this cow until the milk run out. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just what that is. Like, we all know this. You know, man, Chopper style, that song been out since 2003? You know, like, so this man getting a re-up check. Ray Charles can see these choke artists. Let's see. Y'all are talking crazy because Drew Brees had a bad performance tonight. Y'all are acting like we didn't finish the season 13-3. Yeah, we finished the season 13-3 because the defense played really good. Man, come on now. Are we really going to break down the season, or are we going to make a couple more podcasts out this thing? Okay. Drew Brees got hurt in week 2. Teddy Bridgewater came in and won 5 straight games for them. Check this out right here. Now, you can make an argument about Teddy Bridgewater. I mean, he was managing the game, wasn't throwing the ball down the field. I heard all of this, right? But that defense was playing lights out. Drew Brees comes back. The defense was still playing really well. And I'm going to be honest with y'all. A couple of things that we actually seen out here today coming from the offense and how the defense was playing today, that was basically how the same season was going. After that San Francisco 49ers game, all of a sudden seemed like the light came on and then the offense just started exploding and going crazy. But let's not get it twisted, okay? Drew Brees got hurt in week 2. 5 weeks. No, excuse me. 6. Drew Brees, because I'm counting the bye week, okay? Now, after, you know what I'm saying, he came in after, you know, they played the Arizona Cardinals. And he didn't get touched in that game. So, for 5 weeks, Teddy Bridgewater, accompanied by a stout Saints defense. Don't you know, like, we always want to give Drew Brees the credit, man. He 13-3 because of Drew. Yeah. Look, that defense, Teddy Bridgewater, how they utilize Taysom Hill, that's the reason why the Saints are 13-3. You know, Drew Brees lit up the season, you know, towards the end of it. But that defense was keeping them boys in games because the offense wasn't doing really well. They ain't start scoring like over 30-some points until the end of the season. They were scoring way below that. So, man, look, all that Drew, he's our man type stuff, it ain't flying today, man. Like, that defense was playing pretty good this season. Probably one of the best defenses I've seen out of Saints in a while. It doesn't matter, 13-3, we couldn't win a playoff game. No Super Bowl for us. Let's see. TJ, they have been putting up over 30 points for weeks now. Yeah, that's for weeks. That's for these couple weeks. But what was happening before that? They weren't putting up these type of points. Man, put the whole season into perspective, Who Dat Nation. put the season into perspective, please. Let's stop focusing on what just, you know what I'm saying, like what we see at this particular time. Drew Brees played bad today, but at the same time, I'm telling y'all, man, go back and look at some of those games. The defense was keeping the offense in the game until the offense finally made a rally towards the end, and it was able to overcome, you know what I'm saying, the offensive, you know, efficiencies and get like one more drive down the field, maybe set up a Will Lutz field goal. Come on, man. Like, let's just be real about this. I'm sorry, man. Like, I can't no more. Like, I can't. We gotta be 100 with this. Like, we love Drew Brees, man. Like, I'm sitting up here, like, it hurt. Like, y'all may not think that just hurt me to say this stuff. Like, I love Drew Brees. Like, I love Drew Brees and what he brings to New Orleans. Somebody sitting in front of this camera right now was born and raised in New Orleans, right in the Ninth Ward, people. You know what I'm saying? I'm as New Orleans as a hot sausages on French dress, patting hot sausages and pineapple big shots. Okay? And ain't nothing phony about this, man. I love this team with everything with me. I was one of those depressed people when the Saints lose on Monday. I ain't even want to go to school, folks. But we just got to be real with it, man. Like, it wasn't happening, man. The defense was stepping up this season, man. The offense wasn't really getting it together. Y'all still got to come into account. Jared Cook was playing good down the stretch. Yes, he was. But he wasn't playing that well like earlier in the season. He wasn't. You know, I mean, look no further than that Jacksonville Jaguar game. Look no further than that Dallas Cowboy game. I mean, come on, dudes. Like, let's be 100 about this. That defense, that offense came on late in the season. The Atlanta Convicts, y'all going at it, man. Y'all going at it with them Falcon folk. I missed the times when we were winning 12-10 and 13-6. That was fun Saints teams to watch. Aints fans be like, "Oh no, we suck again." Well, the Falcon fans don't have to say that because, I mean, they don't have to realize that they already know that they suck. Y'all gonna cry in the car. Yeah, y'all been crying for weeks. Y'all got dry chill ducks right now, Atlanta. Come on now. Let's see. I love Breeze too, but it's time. Yeah. Let's see. Man, we should like Patriot. We sound like Patriot fans. No, we don't. We sound like real fans. We sound like realistic fans, okay? We sound like realistic fans that got let down by our team that had a 13-3 record and lose at home in the playoffs. And the crowd brung it. Like, the fans of the Superdome, they brung it. They made so much noise up in there. I mean, you can literally see Kirk Cousins like covering his ears. Like, the fans brung it. The atmosphere was great. Shouts out to everybody that went to the game. I think Till One said he went. Shouts out to everybody at the game. They brung it. Let's see. I'm good with our coaches moving forward. Don't see y'all getting offers if you know so much. Y'all suck. Know nothing about true ball. Charles. I don't know nothing about ball, man. I don't know nothing, man. You're absolutely right, Charles. You know, I'm sorry. I don't know nothing about football. I just been doing this podcast for like 2 years, and all these people, you know, that's you know, support the podcast. They just like to listen to me ramble about absolutely nothing. You're absolutely right, Charles. Like, I know absolutely nothing about the Saints. You know, I talk about Drew Brees, so I'm fair weather. You know, I'm a Saints fan by day. You know, a non-Saints fan by night. TJ, my greatest fear is the Saints will hang on to Brees the way that the Miami Dolphins should have let Marino go. Miami is still paying for not thinking of the future back then. I think a lot of people criticize Bill Belichick a lot because he let go of some quality players. He always let them go a year earlier than a year late. I think Drew Brees, if the Saints were to move in a different direction, he'll go there and he'll probably light up the league. And honestly, I think he'll probably win another Super Bowl with a team because, he'll probably go to Denver because Denver seems like it's the retirement home for coaches. I mean, for quarterbacks. And he might end up, getting a championship out there. They might be able to, with Fangio. I mean, he's a good defensive mind. He might go out there and win another Super Bowl with them. And I would be glad for him. I wouldn't have no animosity towards him whatsoever. But sometimes you got to make those tough decisions that we don't want to make, decisions we don't be ready to make, but they have to be made. You think that the Patriots, if they move on from Tom Brady, you think that's not going to bother them or affect them or hurt their fan base or hurt their coaching staff? This guy's been with that organization for 21 years. And he has brought success to that organization. What they had 17 division championships, 9 Super Bowl appearances, 6 Super Bowl championships. You don't think that's going to hurt them to say goodbye to, arguably the greatest quarterback that ever played the game? But it needs to be done. Back in the day, you don't think Bill Walsh, one of the greatest coaches of all time, quarterback was Joe Montana, arguably one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time? You don't think it bothered or hurt him that he wanted to move on from him and get Steve Young? I mean, and Joe Montana had a lot of success with the Chiefs. He got them all the way to the AFC Championship game. He still has something left in the tank. But it's just tough decisions, man. See, we're understanding this now because the Saints are good. Okay, but it's much harder to get rid of a guy who we all love and respect because he's won us a lot of games and basically took us from the bottom and brought us to the top. It's hard. I mean, but great teams like the 49ers have done it. I mean, the Green Bay Packers have done it with Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers. I mean, great teams have done it. It's a tough decision, but it needs to be made. Let's see. Y'all mad? Of course we mad. Of course we mad. Nah, we happy. We happy that the team lost. Yeah, we're absolutely elated that the team lost. Yeah, we're happy about that. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right, man. Of course we mad. You'll be mad too. I'm pretty sure you were mad when your team gave up a 25-point lead in the Super Bowl, right? You was upset. And I'm pretty sure at that particular time, you probably was unconsolable, give it up there. Have the Super Bowl in your hands. Pretty sure that hurt. Miami had nobody behind Marino. We had 2 guys who can take over. We can't worry about the Peyton Manning situation. We can't. Like I said, man, if Drew Brees was to go to somebody else because he still has some football to play, and honestly, I'm gonna throw y'all a curveball. If the Saints don't sign him, would he go back to the Chargers? Would he go back to the Chargers? I mean, the Chargers, I'm pretty sure they're gonna move on from Phillip Rivers. So would they try to get Drew Brees? I mean, they got that brand new stadium and they need to fill it. So that would be interesting. Falcons never won a Super Bowl, 3 straight division titles. I had a dream where Brees went to the Chargers. I didn't even look at that, Invictus. I promise you. That was just weird that I said went to the Chargers and Brees beat Teddy Bridgewater in the Super Bowl. That was a scary dream. Just don't want us to turn it to the Houston Rockets. Great in the regular season, but choke in the postseason. Well, Keith Arthur, welcome to Houston. Because that's how we looking right now. Yeah. We even like James Harden because we put up points, but we don't play defense. Let's not forget about Teddy. He played great in the absence of Breeze. Yeah. Time is the face of New England. Yes, he is. 28-3. Is it crazy to start thinking on a Ravens like offensive scheme with Taysom Hill? No, it's not. As the starting quarterback for the future, Taysom rose to the moment. Yeah, he did. He definitely did. The moment was definitely not big and not too big for him. Jared Poor says, "I'm still proud of this team. Don't care how other Saints fans feel." Jared Poor, I'm not. I'm not proud of him. I'm not. I'm not. This wasn't a great season. You know, like you losing the divisional round, maybe to the Green Bay Packers, maybe we have a different conversation. You lost at home with a 13-3 record, wrapped up your division by Thanksgiving, and was playing some of your best ball down the stretch. I'm not happy. I'm sorry. Us Saints fans just got to realize their ups and downs. How many times? I mean, when are the ups gonna happen? You know what I'm saying? Like when the ups gonna happen? You know, like we go to playoffs every single year, man, only to leave in heartbreak when we have a better team. When we have the better team, it just sucks, man. Hey, Tom remembers the Titans. Archangel, I know why you don't like the Patriots. Most embarrassing Super Bowl in history. Where's the up? Man, that's what I'm saying. Thank you. Where's the up? Bree just might do better with another coach that likes to run the ball. Saints were good. Michael Thomas is a big fan of James Harden. Kind of makes sense. Just kidding. Thomas plays great in the playoffs. Yeah, he did. I mean, but when you getting double and triple covered, I mean, what can you do? Them regular season wins mean nothing next year. They definitely don't. Heartbreak. It's just the way the season just turned out. 13-3 just wasn't enough for you to get a first round bye. But I mean, let's just be honest about this, man. You beat the Falcons at home. We'll be having this conversation. I mean, I don't know. I just don't get it. They said who that? Let's see. Brady versus Breeze would have been so cool in the Super Bowl. My Patriots were so bad on offense all season. They weren't going anywhere in the playoffs. Saints had a shot at making a run. Yep, and they blew it. The worst part is waiting a whole year. That's the part that bothered me. I'm going to try to change the fact that we get heartbroken in the playoffs. Watch me. Honestly, I feel kind of relieved too, though. Last season just left such a bad taste in my mouth. This is all I wanted. Like, I was kind of coasting through it. Like, I didn't care how the Saints got into the postseason. I was like, man, just let them get back there. They're going to do it. They're going to do it. They're going to do it. I feel I finally can let it go because, last season we felt like, we got robbed. Now, we ain't got nothing. This year we can't blame nobody but ourselves. So now it's like, I hope that we get back to the postseason, Now I can go back to like really, truly just being a fan. Like, I was like really angry inside every Saints game. You know what I'm saying? Like, I felt like I felt really angry inside because I wanted them to prove to the league that, man, they messed up and, this was embarrassing. But, now I can really just go back to truly just enjoying Saints games, and break it down, win or lose. Now it's just like I just wanted them to win every single game just to throw it in the face of the National Football League. Let's see. Sean will never run the ball. I believe you. I believe you. I mean, he hasn't proven it yet. But it's ironic to me when the Saints did go to the Super Bowl, they was top 5 in run, in rushing. But maybe he didn't get the memo. Us Saints fans wouldn't even know a bus coming. Y'all fake fans, no loyalty, always got to blame few guys. Hey, any given Sunday, period. They outplayed us, period. Yeah, we fake fans. Yeah, Charles, we fake fans. Like I said, there are other groups that you can be a part of that will gladly, like y'all can be like, who that Saints get blew out by, you know what I'm saying? Saints get blew out, Saints lose at home in a wild card game. When they 13-3, y'all can be like, yeah, all fake fans, you criticizing the team, y'all fake. Drew Brees threw in the second. Why Drew Brees not on today? Oh, he not on today? You fake. Man, honestly, like I said, fans like that, like I can't get down with y'all, man. I just can't. Like anybody that can just look at a team and can't really fully analyze a team without feeling like they, doing some kind of dishonor to a team, like fine, man. But I'm gonna call it for what it is. I feel like the real fake fans are the fans that can't. The fake fans to me are the fans that can't see the forest through the trees. Those are the fake fans to me. If you got to fight to, prove to people that you are fans, you're not really a fan. Okay? If you got to fight to feel like, okay, I can't say this because people going to think that I'm not a real fan, then you're not a fan. You're not. Because if somebody talk to me about the Saints, I can tell you things about them. You know what I'm saying? So I don't feel fake when I say these things because anybody that knows me knows that I've been a Saints fan my whole entire life. So go ahead and fight these urges to not be able to express yourself, and try to prove to everybody that you are a true Saints fan. Deep down in your soul, I won't say anything. I won't say anything about this team because if I say anything, then people are going to think that I'm not really a fan. More power to you. When the coach targeted Marv Harrison for his record, they had a bad loss too. I knew when Mike T was breaking the records that we couldn't go far because he was featured too much. David, that's a good point, but I just think that the Saints' inability to get other wide receivers involved in the game and Sean Payton's stubbornness to not get other receivers involved in the game cost the New Orleans Saints. The thing about it is when you see people like Lil Jordan Humphreys come into the game, who that nation, do you think that he's going to get the ball? I don't think this guy got targeted all season long. He played today. You look at people like Traquan Smith. I mean, he's not heavily involved in the offense. The reason why the New Orleans Saints, in my opinion, get anemic on offense from time to time is because they use the same three guys. Cooks, Kamara, Thomas. Cooks, Kamara, Thomas. Then you sprinkle a little Taysom Hill in there, a little Josh Hill. You got to get these other wide receivers involved. And if you can get these other wide receivers involved, man, the sky's the limit. The sky's the limit, man. Forget all them utility receiver job type things going. Like, if you got Ted Ginn in a game, everybody know he trying to run a 9 or streak route. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you see people like Traquan, like, they know he ain't about to just go out there and do nothing. Like, get these other receivers involved. Like, get a package for them. The only as much of a genius as Sean Payton is, the only logical explanation I can actually have is that he doesn't want to. That's the only logical explanation I can come up with is that he just doesn't want to use these other guys. But it costs the Saints, because we as Saints fans, we sit up here and say we need a number two. But meanwhile, we looked at people for the last couple of weeks, like the Philadelphia Eagles use guys from the street and go out there and let them guys be efficient. Boston Scott, who was with the Saints. Then you had Hardy, a former quarterback. Dallas Goedert. Zach Ertz was hurt the last game of the season. I mean, you had a whole bunch of guys that nobody even really knew. You didn't even know these dudes. And they still was getting them involved. So my question is to Sean Payton, why don't you do it? Why don't you do it? Teams come out here to prepare to zero in on the same usual suspects. So can you think about possibly opening up some packages for Traquan Smith, possibly opening up some packages for Lil Jordan Humphreys. That could help, right? The only reason why we saying that they need a number 2 is because these other dudes don't, you know what I'm saying? Because these other dudes aren't getting opportunities. I'll give you a prime example. A couple years ago, Willie Snead was playing for the Saints. Now, y'all remember Willie Snead, right? Willie Snead was a good third down pass catcher. He was a good guy. He moved the chains. He was fully involved in the Saints offense. All of a sudden, he gets a DUI. He gets suspended for a couple games. He comes back. He gets little to no targets at all. What happened? I mean, did his talent diminish? Or, what happened? The only logical explanation I can come up with is that Sean Payton just didn't want to use him. But he tried to use him in a divisional round of the playoffs when, they tried to do that little flea flicker play and he was able to throw the ball. He overthrew Alvin Kamara. The only logical explanation, who that nation, is that he doesn't want to. Let's see. TJ now Antonio Brown talking, saying it's a curse. Man, who cares about what Antonio Brown got to say? Man, dude, a clout chaser. That's all you want to do is chase clout. Anything, any buzz that you can get. The offense had plenty of time to adjust. They just never had an answer, it seems. If you get upset at people who hold others accountable, you are a sensitive saint. I'm all out of sugar, so ain't nothing sweet. Breeze and Payton needs to get out of their own way. That's true. O-line lost this game. They ice Snead. Yep. Telling y'all, Sean Payton can open up their playbook for those guys. And I feel like if you give them the opportunities, I feel like they'll take advantage of it. I really do. Because this is how I feel. I need y'all to give me some feedback on this. All right. I need y'all to give me some feedback on this. All right. If they're not good enough, why are they on the team? If they're not good enough to catch passes from Drew Brees, why are they on the team? I mean, what is it? You know what I'm saying? I feel like the Saints limit themselves. If you don't have guys that can be possible playmakers, guys that can catch the ball, guys that can go out there and get you a couple first downs that's not named Michael Thomas, why are they on your team? Why are you limiting your offense by putting these guys out there? So my question is, since the season is over, were these guys not good enough? Or was it the fact that Sean Payton wasn't utilizing them enough? Because if a quarterback named Taysom Hill can become an elite pass catcher, because he the passes that he catching pretty good. If Taysom Hill can be a guy who runs between the tackles, and you can put up a package for a guy like Taysom Hill, are you telling me that you can't put a package together for a Traquan Smith? You can't put a package together for a Lil Jordan Humphreys. You couldn't put a package together for Keyshawn Hogan. You couldn't put a package together for Ted Ginn Jr. We have to really fully evaluate what the heck is going on. Why are we asking in a Who Dat Nation for a number 2 receiver? If the guys can't do the job, why are they still there? If they're not giving you production in the passing game, why are they still there? About some of these other teams, okay? I mean, Green Bay Packers, Devontae Adams, Jimmy Graham, Geronimo Allison. I mean, Lazard. Those are guys that Aaron Rodgers utilized, right? Chargers. You got Keenan Allen. You got Mike Williams. You got Benjamin. I mean, they limit themselves by allowing the usual suspects to just go out there and just do this. I'm gonna just throw the screen pass. I'm gonna throw this wide receiver screen. I like the fact that they got Deontay Harris involved. Get him more involved next season. But you got to utilize some of these other guys. And if they're not good enough, if they can't get separation, if you don't believe that they can do their job, then get rid of them. It's that simple. It's that simple, folks. Don't that sound simple to y'all? If they cannot do their job, get rid of them. You wasting time. And eventually, the things that I will say this, and I can eat humble pie. I will say some of the things that you all have been telling me that was been going on with the Saints, the lack of a number 2 and all that other stuff caught up with the Saints today. I will say that. I will concede with that. People like Iceman T, people like Trishawn have been telling me this stuff. And I'm like, man, they 13-3. They 13-3, man. They cool. You don't win these many games if if your team not good. I will concede. You guys were absolutely right. You were absolutely right. And I will eat my crow on that. Let's see. I understand. Look, this is a postseason wild card game. So normally we go for like an hour and 30 or something like that. But this is a special edition. So I know a lot of people are upset about the game. So I know people are, want to vent. So just giving everybody their time. What does the future hold for the Saints? What do you think? Well, hopefully some positive things. Hopefully they have some positive things coming through. But they're probably going to be in a light rebuild mode. They're really going to have to look at some of the guys that they have to re-sign. Probably pick up some guys' fifth-year options. I feel like they probably going to pick up the fifth-year option of Marshawn Lattimore. Alvin Kamara, I think his contract is up. They're going to have to pay him. And I think Marcus Williams, Von Bell, contract is up. You can probably pick up Ryan Ramczak's fifth-year option. You let Andrews Pete go into free agency. Next year, you let Nick Easton be the starter. You draft probably somebody at the left guard position. You draft a person that can be a potential reserve left tackle because Teron Armstead is guaranteed to miss a couple games. And the rest I'm going to explain in full detail the next podcast. Well, probably not the next podcast because my next podcast is going to be the final thoughts. And I'll talk about that later on in the week. And I'm also do an audio version of the State of Saints podcast. I'm going to talk about it really in depth. Let's see. At least we will always have the 09 season. Dang. 3 years in a row we lost in heartbreak. I'm not as upset as 17 and 18, but wow, one and done. I'm upset. I'm more upset at this game than all the other ones. The other one just hurt. Like it just hurt. This game just depressing. Like because I think those other games just kind of rip your heart out and just put it on the table. This game is just like y'all played this well all season to put that type of bull on the field today. What's next? That's what Jasmine asked. I don't know. I don't have the answers. Like Sway, man, I ain't got the answers. You ain't got the answers, Sway. You ain't got the answers. I ain't got the answers. TJ ain't got the answers. I wish I did, Jasmine, but I don't. We would have won if Lutz made that field goal before halftime. I disagree. We would have won if Drew Brees would have held on to that football in the red zone. That's the way I feel. Because what's the worst that could possibly happen? They don't get the touchdown, but they get get a field goal, right? And now the game is tied. It's tied now. So it's tied 20-20. The Saints make a stop. And now you're driving down the field at the very last minute with 21 seconds left to have a go-ahead field goal by who? Will Lutz. So Will Lutz, even though that would have been helpful, would have tied the game going into the half. But I have to say that Drew Brees fumbling the football that late in the game is probably the reason why they lost. Do you think they took Taysom Hill out way too early in the fourth quarter? I mean, he was hot. That's hindsight right now. I mean, we didn't know. I mean, how many times we see Taysom Hill make a big splash play, and then all of a sudden Drew Brees goes out there and he just continues to do his job. So that's hindsight right now. So I don't want to say that they feel like they should have took him out because that's what they do. He does something really good and then they take him out. Didn't think that Drew Brees was going to fumble on the next play though. Being at the game, Taysom was clearly the better option. Yeah, but man, you go with the guy who got you there. I guess that's what Drew Brees is the starting quarterback of the Saints. So I mean, it is his team and it's his game to lose. 3rd and 1, and we run a jet sweep with Kamara. Yeah, that was horrible. Absolutely horrible. Wyatt, are you okay? Good question. I guess you're talking about the wide receivers. And by the way, I'm born and raised in Baton Rouge, and I've been a diehard Saints fan. I'm just calling it like it is. Breeze lost the game. Somebody else that says that. Was that Lattimore again into it with each other on the sidelines? Nah, that was Lattimore getting into it with secondary coach Aaron Glenn because he was calling him out for playing soft. Sean Payton has a big ego problem, and he won't commit to the running game. Drew Brees is just John Elway before Terrell Davis came. Man, I can't disagree with it right now. I just think that the running game, that's the way to go. I feel like all season long, Sean Payton has been impatient with the running game. I'm holding up, man. I'm just very disappointed, man. The Saints are cursed ever since Bountygate 2010 Beastquake. Sean Payton is very unaware in key situations when it comes to play calling, and play calling awareness. Also extremely lazy and diversifying the attack besides his stepchild Taysom Hill. Emmanuel Butler has been on the practice squad the whole season. That's because they redshirting him. We're gonna see how good this dude can be next season. He was just a raw talent, man. He just was raw, and you don't want to put a guy like this on the field and you mess with his confidence if he's not ready. You don't do that. You're doing a disservice to the team. You're doing a disservice to him. Straight up. I like it. I like that they put him on the sideline for the entire season. Well, I guarantee he's gonna be a better pass catcher. He's gonna be a better blocker. And he's gonna do some real good things. They got some plans for honestly, all those guys they rotated through there, and he the one person they left on the practice squad. They got some special plans for him. They should have found a way to keep Brandon Cooks. He would have helped them in a passing game. But New Orleans' offensive line was horrible pretty much all day. The truth hurts. Good statement. I don't feel like they could have kept Brandon Cooks because Brandon Cooks felt like he was a number one receiver. There was a lot of animosity between him and Michael Thomas. I feel like he was jealous of Michael Thomas' success. I feel like he thought that that game where the Saints blew out the Rams and he didn't get any targets, he got upset and he went to his agent and said that he wanted to get traded. You don't want a guy like that in your locker room, man. You don't. Even a guy like Stephon Diggs today, like crying on the sidelines. I mean, looking at that right there, and I think early in the season I said I would like to see him as a Saint. I don't want him to be here if he crying like that on the sideline. And when he started crying, then they won't put him in a game for jet sweeps and all that kind of stuff. Just because you was getting locked up by Janoris Jenkins. Sean Payton does have an ego problem. Well, remember when Jimmy Graham was the only person Breeze wanted to throw it to? It was because he was the only receiver he could see. Sean Payton is very unaware in key situations when it comes to playing and play calling aware. And I already read that one. Let's see. Al Riveron only said that that was a good no call because he doesn't like his referees looking bad. He'll say that because he doesn't want an uproar like last year. Man, look, I don't want to hear nothing out of New York. I just don't. I'm not gonna sit around here and just blame the referees. Like I said, the Saints had opportunities to win this game. But I will say this about the referees. I feel like they do get off the hook quite often. And I feel like just like how those players be having like the opening introductions, like how you have on NBC, I think that they need to do the same thing with these referees. I don't think the referees need to be like, John Stevens, line judge, Stanford University, nothing like that. But I do think that they need to put these guys, like in a picture or something like that, and be like, these are the referees for today's game, because you ever just thought about it? Like, you be mad, be like, man, these referees, but you don't know which referee to get mad at. Wouldn't it be, wouldn't it be pretty good if you can just be like, man, that doggone Hockley or that doggone Stevens, you know what I'm saying? Like, man, screw my team. They basically get off the hook. It's amazing like how we can go on Twitter and we can badmouth these other players and stuff and talk about how bad they are. But let's go ahead and signal out some of these referees. You know what I'm saying? Let them understand how we feel. I feel like they get off the hook. They don't get put their referees out there. You know what I'm saying? So we don't know who the heck out there. We don't know who's getting, you know what I'm saying, who's screwing us over. We don't. So I feel like they need to be acknowledged. I mean, just like those player introductions, like how they come across the screen, I feel like it should be the same way. Have those referees that's officiating the game have their picture and their name on there. You know what I'm saying? So we can know exactly who to bring the smoke to. You get what I'm saying? That's all. That's all I feel. That's how I feel about it. I don't know about y'all, but that's how I feel. Let's see. Me too, man. I'm a who that until the day I die. I hear that, man. Harrison Smith spot Taysom at quarterback and Swearinger as a starter. Harris will complement Thomas. Let's see. Taysom Hill was the reason we were in the game. Yeah, that was the Taysom Hill show today. Taysom Hill runs better routes than all the other than Mike. Sean uses play in practice only, not in real games, for a reason. Same here, Wyatt. Still a good season. I agree to disagree with you on that one, Jerry. I'm just glad to experience that great 2009 season because it might be a minute until another one. Man, yeah. The Saints going to have to go back in rebuild mode, folks. Sean Payton, let's see, has vicariously lived his football career through Breeze. It's all about what Payton wants, and Breeze is on board because it benefits his numbers. I don't know, man. I don't know who it benefit. All I know is we don't benefit when they play this awful, and the play calling is just as bad as it's been. In this game, I should say. Payton is just a bad decision maker in the playoff. Mrs. Benson needs to have a talk with Sean about his performance as a play caller. And she's not gonna do that. Like, she happy with Sean. And Sean got so much leverage. Like, she ain't gonna go down there and and fire him. Like, he just signed a 5-year extension. And he's too arrogant to give up the play calling duties. $100 million Michael Thomas is your answer, sir. I think the Saints need a new coach. Sean Payton really be bad play calling in these big games. I'm not gonna go that far. I think that the Saints have the right coach. I just feel like maybe you need to get yourself another a true offensive coordinator. Somebody. If you're gonna call plays, y'all collaborate with the plays together or something. Kind of like the situation that's going on at LSU. I mean, you got Joe Brady. he collaborating with the offensive coordinator. They powwowing together about who gonna who doing what and all that. So maybe you need somebody like that. I mean, Pete Carmichael, he ain't gonna like overturn what he doing. And I think Pete, I can tell a Pete Carmichael run game, because you're gonna see the Saints run the ball more than they pass, or you're gonna see a balanced attack. Peyton should be criticized all week. Drew Brees and Peyton, what have you done for Nola lately? 10 years of almost winning 09 champs seems so long, and Peyton got 5 years left, and the future don't look good. Sean Payton is stubborn. I've been saying it. He won't run it, and I don't know. I mean, I'm just I don't know. Sean Payton is likely the greatest coach of all time next to Belichick. Stop with the Payton hate, man. Man, you don't go sit down somewhere. I like Sean Payton, but one of the greatest of all time. The greatest coach of all time next to Belichick. Right, you forgetting about Vince Lombardi, you forgetting about Tom Landry, you forgetting about Bill Walsh, you forgetting about Don Shula, you forgetting about a lot of folk, man. Chuck Noll. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I like Sean Payton, but man, he ain't up there with them dudes like that. I would say he one of the best offensive minds in the NFL. I think he has a great offensive mind, but next to Belichick, nah, bruh. Mm-mm. I think he one of the best. He one of the greatest active coaches in the NFL. But bruh, man, Chuck Knowles, Tom Landry, Bill Walsh, Vince Lombardi, man, bruh, he got a long way to go. So let's tank. They got too much pride for that, and I wouldn't want to see them tank. If some things don't go your way and y'all losing, then fine. But I told y'all Peyton and Breeze is Mrs. Benson children. Pete should call the plays. Why, I don't know. I don't know why Pete Carmichael, in my opinion, just stealing money, But that's a good little cushy gig he got there, right? I mean, you get the role of offensive coordinator, but you don't call any plays. That sounds pretty good to me. This man getting a nice fat couple $1 million a year check in order for you to sit on the sidelines and look important. I know some of us will take that. Saints build for another run, but something's got to shake with quarterback and who they are. Too much power. He not giving that up. He could make another run. Somebody said, I'd rather tank. I don't know. I don't want to tank. I disagree with the tank, and I don't want to do no tank. Sean will never give up the play calling duties again, like it or not. We should have paid Mark Ingram. Tell Peyton Dallas interested. Let's see. We need power back. The only thing that is wrong with Peyton is that he does not play to win the game. A little under 2 minutes, he is playing for a field goal while the opponents play to win. Rams played to win. Yeah, I think he played for that field goal in that last possession. I didn't like that. Let's see. He ain't no Jimmy Johnson. Only one Super Bowl from Breeze in the Peyton era. Saints supposed to be sitting on about 4 or 5 rings. I'm a realist. If we ran the ball, Breeze wouldn't have those 2 blunders. I agree. I don't see how Sean Payton and did not make any adjustments to put in Teddy Bridgewater once. He seemed that the offensive line was not holding cups to protect Breeze because he's not gonna put Breeze out the game, man. I'm telling y'all, that wasn't happening. They were gonna live and die by Drew Brees. Remember, we won the Super Bowl on the trick play and defense, people. 2 was balling. Buddy rushed back. Hill started shining. Buddy tossing in double coverage. Hill rumble for 34 yards. Buddy gets grabbed and fumbled. yeah, that's pretty much what happened. But all the coaches are one-sided coaches. they ain't no coach that's good at coaching both sides of the ball. Sean Payton ain't either. I mean, Sean Payton ain't good on coach. Man, please. If that was the case, the Saints probably would have had about 4 or 5 Super Bowls, like somebody just mentioned. Are you, man? Come on, knock it off with that. That man don't know nothing about no defense, man. I mean, he knows nothing about defense. If he did know something about defense, the Saints, like I said, the Saints probably would have had a couple championships. Let me ask y'all a question though, and we're gonna wrap it up. We're gonna wrap it up in a few minutes. But do you think that Drew Brees will win another Super Bowl with the Saints? Ever again? Do you think he ever gonna win another Super Bowl? Yes or no? Let's see. Sean Choke today. We need to rebuild. All right, read that. It's Carmichael's job to fetch Peyton some juicy fruit. I'm not about that taking. Let's see. Kamara don't seem to care about the Saints. I think he let those people on social media get to him though, because when you be listening to the press conference, he always like refer to it like we ain't worried about what people saying on the outside. And I mean, if you ain't worried about what people saying on the outside, then why would you even mention it? Cam Jordan went on a TV show this week and talked about Kirk Cousins about being inconsistent. We need to be humble, especially on freaking vets. Well, Kirk Cousins did play bad, but he showed them up. Peyton needs to look himself in the mirror and become a better coach. Drew retire. No, he will not. No. Somebody said yes. No. I'm getting a lot of no's. Darrell says yes. No, Brees will not win another Super Bowl. He's going to decline. He's going to decline next year. The way he played today, it looked like it started today. Just because Will Lutz missed the halftime field goal doesn't mean he is the reason he lost. He is the reason why we were in overtime. He would have been a reason why we won if somebody didn't fumble the football. That's all I'm saying. Let's see. Who that? Heck no. Time for somebody new. Breaking news. Brees retires. Oh, man. Brees going to have to be satisfied with one ring as long as Peyton is there. No, we don't even know if Brees will be here next season. Y'all hurt so bad. Katrina, the only reason we won the first Super Bowl. Man, I don't believe that. I hate when people say that, though. Louisiana hot boy, I just don't like when people say that because it don't make sense. It just don't make no sense to me. And I always say this. I always tell this story and make, so people can understand how much, that just does not make sense. The Saints came back to the Superdome, came back to New Orleans in 2006. They went 10-6, went to the NFC Championship game and played the Chicago Bears in Chicago. Now, if the Saints would have just won because of Hurricane Katrina, wouldn't that have been a year that they should have won it? Because it was like the year after Katrina. Why would the NFL wait 4 years to give the Saints a Super Bowl title when they were in the NFC Championship game in 2006? That makes no sense. The Saints won the Super Bowl because they were opportunistic defense. I mean, they led the league in turnovers. Darren Sharper had 9 interceptions that season. And they were opportunistic defense. They was bend but don't break, and they turned the ball over. They was able to get fumbles and interceptions, and they ran the ball. Okay, there was top 5 in running with Pierre Thomas and Reggie Bush and Mike Bell. That's why. So something, tells me maybe you need to get some guys that can actually turn their head around in the secondary and not just be running towards the receiver, putting their hands up in the face. Because, of course, we all know if you touch that receiver, before the ball gets there, what's going to happen? It's going to be pass interference. So maybe we get some people that can actually turn their head around and turn the ball over, and maybe run the football just a tad bit. And you had what? 3 running backs? And the Saints have 3 good running backs. They got Dwayne Washington, they got Alvin Kamara, they got Latavius Murray. That's all I'm saying. Don't feel advantage no more. Sean Payton is Les Miles NFL. I won't go that far. Les Miles actually run the football. Shoot, he'll run the football. You talking about 3 yards in a cloud of dust. Shoot, that's Les Miles. Time has passed with another Super Bowl under Sean and Breeze. So no. He's had how many chances to win another one? Yeah, quite a few. The only way, let me see. I just passed it up. Sorry. This feed going really fast, so trying to go back to where I was. Somebody say, hope y'all feel better. Actually, this does make you feel better, talking about it and expressing it and stuff. Like, I know I feel a lot better since when I first started. Let's see. He's still wearing a thumb brace. I hate when people blame the refs for this loss. No, you can't blame them. I'm not blaming them. We need to get better in the offseason by addressing the secondary and offense. Man, how many years have we had this conversation? We've had this conversation so many times. St. Louis sends its love to New Orleans. See, I hate the bull about Katrina. That was personal stuff that happened to us. Lives were affected and lost. Don't bring sports into it. Just remember how many games we won in 2009. You think all those teams laid down for us because of Katrina? Dree got D backs when we won the Super Bowl. You see, blah, blah, blah. This secondary is always going to let us down. I'm in Carolina happy. I'm in South Carolina, and I'm not happy. Man, I hope y'all find yourself a good coach. Who that, Tyra? What do you mean about suspect? Let's see. If I was Murray, I would leave. Peyton doesn't value his ability. I will say this. Sean Payton has saved Mark Ingram's career with his lack of not running the football over the years. And y'all see what Baltimore is doing. Man, Mark Ingram looked like a brand new back out there. And people like, man, why we got rid of Mark Ingram? Like, it would have been the same way. Like he wouldn't have been utilizing Mark Ingram. He wouldn't have. I'm happy for Mark Ingram. I am. I'm happy for Mark because now he get an opportunity to really spread his wings and be really productive in the offense. He wouldn't have had these opportunities if he was in New Orleans because we too doggone pass happy. Yeah, man. Along with Breeze playing like trash, Murray should have ran more and Pete should have been taken out. He was getting manhandled. Yeah. Y'all killing me with this recency bias. This was the same Drew Brees y'all were praising when he was torching teams the last half of the season with 15 touchdowns, no picks. So you can't talk about him because he played bad? You can't talk about him because he played bad? We said a couple of weeks ago when the Tampa Bay Buccaneers played the same in the Superdome and Marshawn Lattimore locked up Mike Evans, man, this dude a beast. Man, he can't be stopped. The next week, he was going up against Julio Jones before he got hurt. Man, if Marshawn was in the game, Julio wouldn't have been productive in the game as soon as he went out. And now today, man, I don't know what's going on with Lattimore. I don't know what happened with him. So we can say these things, right? Let me go ahead and rewind a little bit. Early in the season, Eli Apple, right? The person that everybody don't like for reasons unbeknownst to me now, the most hated man in New Orleans. Man, Eli Apple, man, shoot, since training camp, he been balling. All of a sudden, after that Chicago Bears game, man, get this bum up out of here. Get him out. So we can say these things. We can flip from week to week. We talk about Marcus Davenport. Man, he ain't getting no pressure on a quarterback. Couple weeks later, this guy has, 4 sacks in 2 weeks? Oh, man, he balling now, man. He balling. The light must came on for him. But when Drew Brees goes out there and plays like hot garbage, but Drew Brees had 15 touchdowns, no pick. Man, whatever. Drew Brees played bad, okay? Drew Brees is not an exception to the rule. It is not a cardinal sin to talk about Drew Brees if he plays bad. If you feel that way, you're lying to yourself. You're not being truthful to yourself. Straight up. He played bad. Does that mean that Drew Brees cannot play football anymore? Absolutely not. But 80%, according to TJ Jones, of the loss in the wild card round of the playoffs against the Minnesota Vikings belongs to the Hall of Fame quarterback. You can be mad at me all you want to. You can, unsubscribe to the channel. You don't like what I'm saying? Go back and watch the game. That's all I'm saying. Go back and watch the game. Take the Drew Brees number 9 sunglasses off that you're wearing and watch the game. That's all I'm saying. Watch the game. Watch the game. I will be doing a disservice to every listener, viewer of the State of the Saints podcast if I was not 100% honest with you. If they make me look like a so-called fake fan, if it makes me look like I'm disingenuous about my fandom of the New Orleans Saints, well, so be it. I'm just being 100. I'm just being real. Let's see. As a Saints fan, this stuff will give you a bad heart. It definitely will. And honestly, I'm just glad. I'm happy, man. I'm back in good health. People that have been following me throughout the season, y'all know I was diagnosed with pneumonia around October. Man, I was dealing with pre-diabetic symptoms and stuff like that, high blood sugar. Now it's like, my health is good, man. My blood sugar, is getting back to normal. You know what I'm saying? I'm happy, that I'm getting a good picture of health. This stuff right here, I'm telling you, man, I'm just glad I don't have blood pressure issues. You know what I'm saying? I'm happy. You know what I'm saying? I don't have blood pressure issues. Because, man, this will send you back to the hospital, send me back to the hospital if I did. We ran the ball 20 times. Too many plays where DBs missed picks because they won't turn their heads around. Joe Lowe, about to take y'all back. Week one. New Orleans Saints. Fourth quarter. Right? Drew Brees drives the team down the field. Go ahead touchdown, right? Y'all remember this? Deshaun Watson gets the ball. Boom. One play, right? Right down, you know what I'm saying? The left sidelines. Throw it down left sideline, DeAndre Hopkins. Caught. Marcus Williams, Marshawn Lattimore right there. Very next play. Boom. Down the field of Kenny Stills for a touchdown. 2 plays late in the game. Of course, you already know about the San Francisco 49ers game. 4th and 2. Jimmy Garoppolo throws the ball to George Kittle. C.J. Gardner-Johnson, who I feel like has a great future in the National Football League. This guy plays with so much emotion. After the Saints lost that game, he was sitting on the turf. He had tears in his eyes. Whiffed on a tackle. Everybody's favorite tackler, Marcus Williams, comes in, tries to jump on the back, gives this guy a face mask. They cannot close the deal. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is psychologically. They have to work on closing the deal. And honestly, what they say, what they say once is a coincidence. What I can't think of that. I don't want to go George Bush, but y'all get what I'm saying. They say, like 3 times is a trend. I just know that's how it ends. But you know what I'm saying? So the fact of the matter is this: if you keep on having these same issues year after year, maybe it's time to change some things up. I was highly surprised that PJ Williams came back and they signed him to a 1-year extension. Man, chunk up the deuce to PJ Williams. Okay. I was highly shocked him and Ken Crawley was back on this team. They got rid of Ken Crawley. He in Miami now, last time I checked. But PJ Williams being back on this team is baffling to me. But I will say this. PJ Williams' career can be saved if he moved from cornerback to safety. I will say that because he's a really good tackler. He's just slow. Okay. And I think that he will play a lot better if he was to play at the safety position. So I feel like if he moves from cornerback to safety, his career might be saved. But I still don't want him with the Saints. Let's see. He had won the games. Y'all would have been saying he the GOAT. I wouldn't have King Arthur. I wouldn't have said he was the GOAT. I would have just been happy they won. But I still would have came on here. I mean, go check it. Like, I'm not just saying this after the fact. I did a halftime show and I was saying this stuff. You know what I'm saying? I was saying this at halftime. I wasn't saying this at the end of the game. I said this at halftime, that the reason why the Saints were trailing the game was because of Drew Brees. I said that at halftime. This ain't this ain't no brand new tape. You know what I mean? I lost followers on Facebook because of my point of view. You know, like, hey, I've been preaching this from the mountaintops, man. Straight up. Let's see. Too many plays the DVs miss picks because they won't turn their heads around. We ran the ball 20 times. Let's see. Saints been letting me down for years. Man, plenty of years. It just hurt. Like I said, it just hurt worse now because they good. We didn't lose by 32. Don't care. Felt like it. He ain't washed, but something's fishy. He had the same look in his eyes at Dallas last year. This game was thrown from the beginning. We are a second half team, and they refused to adjust. Thrown. I don't want to say they didn't. Tyra, they did. They did adjust because Dalvin Cook was eating them up in the second half. He ain't really getting nothing. He had most of his yards in the first half. That thumb brace stank. It hurt more in a playoff loss. Kamara is not an every down back. Who will be the starting quarterback next season? That remains to be seen. I'm gonna say Teddy Bridgewater right now. Did you hear about Drew have surgery on his hand? About to have surgery. He about to have surgery on his hand? No, I didn't hear that. And if that's the case, is this real? I'm looking it up right now. I don't know. I didn't hear nothing about him. I heard he had surgery on his hand. I mean, I knew he had surgery on his hand week 2. I don't know about no future surgery. But if that was the case, then I feel like he should have, reconsidered playing. I don't feel better. I'm done. If Paige is worried about the Super Bowl ring, then I'm not worried. It's scripted. Tyra, I agree. TJ, good show, man. Thank you for checking out the show. 10 years of wait till next year. Yeah, I'm over that, folks. I'm over that. I'm over it. I'm over like wait till next year. And Mark Ingram helped Kamara. Man, what is this? Big brother, big sister program or something? I mean, what is this big like? Come on, man. Like, dude, man, this is your career. This ain't Mark Ingram can't live your career or play your career for you. Like this is up to you. TJ, they just came out. The front office is saying they messed up again. It should have been offensive, man. Closing the deal under Peyton's existence yearly after 2010. Think back to the divisional round 49ers a few years back. Seattle, Minnesota, and Minnesota again. I'm done. How the mighty have fallen, fire them cannons. Man, we was in the playoffs, man. Like, Tampa, go sit down somewhere. Carolina, go sit down somewhere. Like, find yourself a coach. Y'all ought to be ashamed of yourself the way y'all tanked that season. You know, like Greg Olsen calling out y'all team, talking about y'all ain't professional. Like, you know, like, come on, man. That was the most pathetic display I ever seen in my life. Yeah, Saints beat y'all to sleep. What, 41 to 10 or 42 to 10? Like, how can y'all possibly come on here and really try to talk noise and think it's gonna have like any type of weight behind it? Like, y'all embarrassed. Like, I was telling the Atlanta Falcon fan, I'm gonna tell the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Carolina Panther fan that has graced us with their presence. Y'all have been embarrassing this NFC South this season. If it wasn't for the Saints, then nobody would even care about the NFC South. Honestly, let's just call a spade a spade. The reason why y'all get games on television, y'all ought to be thanking the New Orleans Saints because people want to see Drew Brees play. And y'all just so happen to be in the same division with Drew Brees. So y'all get Atlanta, come on now. Do y'all honestly think that y'all would actually be playing on Thanksgiving if Drew Brees wasn't the quarterback of the Saints? Tampa, come on now. Stop it. Do y'all really believe that people would actually want to see y'all play if y'all weren't playing against Drew Brees and the Saints? Like, honestly, nobody even care about what time the Tampa Bay Buccaneers game come on. In Carolina, even though I have a little bit a tad bit respect for y'all because, I mean, y'all really have been one of the class of the NFC South. Y'all can't beat the Falcons. And the Saints own the Falcons, okay? And before the Falcon fans like put up their overall record, which the Saints are going to eventually break in the next 2 years, and y'all can finally like put that to rest. Carolina, y'all embarrassing us. Y'all embarrassing the division. How can you possibly come on a State of the Saints podcast, a Saints dominated show, and talk noise, and y'all have embarrassed this division? Y'all have embarrassed us. Like, y'all ought to be ashamed of yourself. The way that the NFC South was looked at. I mean, honestly, man, y'all embarrassing. Y'all embarrassing. Absolutely embarrassed. I'm ashamed. I'm ashamed for y'all. I'm ashamed for you, especially Tampa. Like, honestly, like, do y'all think people actually care about watching y'all on national television? No, like, no, nobody care. Nobody cares about watching. Who sits up there and says, "Man, I want to watch that Matt Ryan. I want to watch that Matt Ryan Atlanta Falcon game." Who sits up there and do that? Who does it? Who wants to watch Kyle Allen be quarterback? Where they at? Like, for real, like, who wants to watch Kyle Allen? Who wants to watch the extraordinary quarterback play of Kyle Allen? Who wants to watch the impeccable quarterback that is named Jameis Winston? Who wants to see that? Who wants to see Who wants to see Jameis Winston throw 30 touchdowns and 30 interceptions? This man went 30 for 30. Huh? 30 for 30. 30 for 30, man. This man broke a record for most interceptions in the season. One person I respect on the Carolina Panthers team, and that's Christian McCaffrey. I was rooting for him. I was happy that he got that record for 1,000 and 1,000. I was happy. I respect him. But Carolina, slow your roll. Okay? Slow your roll. They just lost 42-10. And they on here talking noise. Jameis Winston threw 30 touchdowns, 30 interceptions, and Tampa Bay fans on here talking noise. The Saints won the division 3 straight years and they talking noise. The Atlanta Falcons gave up a 25-point lead in the Super Bowl and they talking noise. The Atlanta Falcons can't draft to save their mama life and they kept the GM and the head coach and they talking noise. Y'all should send a thank you letter to the city of New Orleans and the New Orleans Saints organization and say thank you for making our division relevant. Thank you for having a Hall of Fame quarterback that everybody wants to see so we can be relevant in the division, so we can get some primetime games. Y'all wouldn't be getting none of this stuff if it wasn't for the Saints. Y'all wouldn't be getting none of this. Nothing. Y'all wouldn't be getting none of this stuff. When the last time the Atlanta Falcons was America's game of the week? When the last time the Tampa Bay Buccaneers was America's game of the week? When the last time the Carolina Panthers was America's game of the week? I'll wait. Anyway, let's see. I lost track. 30 for 30, and we ain't talking about the TV show. They need to give him one. Deja vu. Bless his heart. Dennis Allen gets out coached. Guess we really needed that bye, though. It would have, yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know if it would have helped or not. Peyton Manning threw 28 interceptions in his first year with Bruce Arians. Glad you mentioned that. What you didn't mention was Peyton Manning was a what? Rookie. Is Jameis Winston a rookie? Nope. Come on, like, if you're gonna tell a story, tell it all, dude. Let's be honest, man. Like, I'm telling you, you're not talking to just somebody. I love football. Okay. I have a strong passion for the Saints, but I know myself some football, dude. Peyton Manning broke the rookie record for most interceptions. Those 28 interceptions that you're referring to was his rookie season in 1998. After that, shot to the moon, right? Bruce Arians was his quarterback whisperer. You can't save Jameis Winston. You can't save him. You can't save him. These are problems that this guy had at Florida State. The reason why you didn't see that is because they had people like Devontae Freeman running the football, and you had people like Ramsey and, ironically, PJ Williams in the secondary that was helping him out. He won the Heisman Trophy. That was great. And they won the national championship that year. But you know what he did the very next year? He didn't do nothing, but was ranked in the top 5 in turnovers in the nation going into his final season at Florida State. So this isn't something that he dealt with. I mean, this is not a problem that just occurred. This is something that always happened with him. But I like how you brought up Peyton Manning and tried to compare him. Like, it ain't no comparison, man. Let's see. Peyton got rings, though. Saints need a new defensive coordinator and a secondaries coach. I like Aaron Glenn, so I'm going to say no. I'm going to say a no-go for that. I say a defensive coordinator. Falcons can't even fill seats in their stadium. TJ, what are you expecting from them? This is very typical Atlanta, Carolina Bucks fans. Why are you even responding to them? They just happy somebody down in the guts with them. Well, let me look. I ain't got nothing but time. I mean, same season over. I ain't got nothing but time. You know what I'm saying? So if they want the smoke, I give it to them. But if you're gonna come with the smoke, I need you to really be on your stuff, okay? Because all I know is that the NFC South was down and the Saints was the only team in the playoffs. I mean, maybe y'all probably had a different TV than me. Maybe y'all was reading more, media stuff than I have, but I didn't see the Atlanta Falcons, the Carolina Panthers, or Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the playoffs. I ain't see none of them. I mean, I was looking high and low. I mean, are they under here? Are they over there? I don't know. Are they in the playoff? That's all I want to know. The Saints may have got eliminated from the playoffs, but they were in the playoffs. Carolina was not in the playoffs. Tampa was not in the playoffs. The Falcons were not in the playoffs. So the way that I see it, ladies and gentlemen, the Saints represented the NFC South in the playoffs, and they won a division 3 straight years, and they won before Thanksgiving. So y'all should be ashamed of yourself. Oh, Locks man, Panthers quarterback was hurt. But can you please explain to me? Let's rewind this for a second. Let's go back to last season when your quarterback, Mr. Cam Newton, was completely inaccurate. And we don't even have to go back to last season. Let's talk about this season. At the beginning, he still was missing his targets. Let's just be honest about this, Locks. If Cam Newton probably would have finished up this season, you probably still wouldn't have made the playoffs. Because the Cam Newton that I seen at the beginning of the season couldn't hit the front of a barn door. But you can go ahead and blame it on that, because I can make an argument that the Carolina Panthers actually look better with Kyle Allen. But I digress. Saints need to cut PJ Williams. They don't need to cut him because his contract is up. Okay, we don't need to cut him. Let's see. We put the beat down on Carolina 3 times in one season. Yeah, man, we swept them. Yeah, we swept them. Honestly, we swept them. We swept them. Y'all, Cam stunk, but his foot was hurt. Cam's foot was hurt. His shoulder was hurt. His back was hurt. His feelings was hurt. When the team decided to go in a different direction, it go with Kyle Allen. Come on, man. Like, we all know that Cam Newton was looking like straight hot garbage out there. And that was before he went down with the ankle injury. That was before then. Even though it happened in preseason. Oh, we saw the games, man. We saw them. I can't speak for everybody, but I saw them. I ain't got no choice. I mean, I can't do nothing but get tortured with Carolina Panthers game because I stay in Myrtle Beach. Okay. So I watched him. Okay. So I watched him go out there and stank it up and overthrow DJ Moore and overthrow Wright and overthrow Christian McCaffrey and overthrow Greg Olsen. I seen it. You can't hide it from me, man. I see you. But I can't see y'all in the playoffs. I didn't see you. I didn't. So I'm still looking. I know, Saturday has came, Sunday has game, all the playoff games are going off. Saints lost their game, but I don't think that they're playing a Monday Night Football playoff game that features the Falcons, the Panthers, or the Buccaneers. But maybe, something may be wrong. My TV guide or something like that, maybe somebody got a TV guide, the preview channel or something like that that's telling me what time the game come on. Maybe I can ask Alexa. Maybe Alexa can tell me. I got Alexa at the crib. Maybe it can tell me what time they play. But last time I checked, the season was over for them boys by week 7. Daniel Powell says, TJ, how long have you been a fan? I've been a fan of New Orleans Saints since 1989. I was 3 years old. Okay, that's how long I've been a Saints fan because that's about as long as I can remember. I just remember, I've been a Saints fan since Steve Walsh, Bobby Bear. Y'all remember that song, Steve Walsh? Steve Walsh, baby. Doom, 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 doom. And then, the Cha-Ching days, what I'm saying, back in the day when they had what was that guy named? Seth Meyers or something like that. He was on, like, I think the dude from Family Guy, he was the Cha-Ching guy. I mean, bruh, this ain't like, bruh, Steve Walsh, Bobby Bear, Jim Everett, Billy Joe Howard, Billy Joe Tolliver, Wade Wilson. Man, I done seen some dark ages with the New Orleans Saints. Jeff Blake, Aaron Brooks. Mario Bates back in the day, Ray Zellis. I done seen some ups and I done seen some downs. It's just the sad thing about it. Just the sad thing about it is, now that they good, it just hurts even worse. When it was bad, it was like, and they won a game, it was like you was happy. And, you were happy, when they lose, it was like, it wasn't that bad because they did it quite often. But now it's like, it hurts. Like, because they good. TJ, what made you leave Louisiana? Hurricane Katrina. Hurricane Katrina happened in 2005. I was a sophomore at Dillard University. And of course, Hurricane Katrina hit. My grandparents are originally from Mississippi, Vicksburg, Mississippi. And we relocated out there and ended up going to Jackson State University. And I went to Jackson State for 3 years. Once I graduated from there, I moved out to Dallas, Texas, stayed there a couple of years, moved back to Mississippi to be closer to my family. And the job that I had at the time when I was staying in Mississippi asked me to come to South Carolina. And ironically, the job that I was doing, I was a store manager. I ended up getting a home. And this I'll tell y'all about faith or whatever like that. I wasn't doing radio at the time. I was a store manager. I was working at a little small company named Fred's. And it was Christmas time. And we had like some of them big old Bluetooth speakers. I know I ain't really talking about football right now, but this is a story. I feel like it's kind of something that y'all should know. So we had one of them Bluetooth speakers. And I was talking to one of my assistants, and she was like, she put in on a radio station. And I was like, man, this radio station sounds pretty good. I said, what's the name of the station? And she was like, it was 90.9 FM. So what happened was I ended up calling the station because, I did my store manager thing. I've always been a store manager since my early 20s. I'm 33 now. But, I always did like little podcasts and stuff like that. I mean, got a degree in, communication and broadcasting. So I called them and they asked me to come in. This is a true story. I put in the directions to the station. When I started driving, I noticed, I'm like, this is like close to my house where I stay. So I put it in because I'm still new to the area. The station was 3 minutes away from my house, the house that I moved to in South Carolina. So I say that to say this. When God has something for you, it's for you. I don't know if some of you may not be religious, but I'm just saying, I feel like it was my destiny, for me to come to South Carolina. Because when I came to South Carolina, I got the job at the radio station and the rest is history. So I thought that was a funny story, but I left New Orleans in 2005, but I just wanted to tell that story. But that's why I say if God has something for you, it's for you. And can't nobody take that away from you. Let's see. I love how this YouTuber ignored the Peyton Manning threw 100 interceptions his first 5 seasons, and Jameis Winston threw 88. Let's see. Jameis Winston, you said he threw 100 interceptions in his first 5 seasons. No, Peyton Manning threw 100 interceptions in his first 5 seasons. Jameis Winston threw 88. Here's the thing, my friend. I'm pretty sure that Peyton Manning didn't throw 100 interceptions in his first 5 seasons. And to be honest with you, I guarantee you, if we talking about turnovers with Peyton Manning, I'm pretty sure you probably added in the postseason. And if you didn't, I guarantee you this. If he did throw 100 interceptions in the first 5 seasons, I bet you he didn't throw more pick sixes than Jameis Winston did in his. So, man, just bro, just admit that Jameis Winston has a turnover problem. Okay, he does. I mean, just admit it. Just admit he have a turnover problem. Just admit that. But let me tell y'all a little something, because I mean, I'm still gonna be doing the State of Saints podcast. I'm probably gonna be doing like top 10 moments or whatever like that throughout the off season. Of course, I'm gonna cover the draft and all that kind of stuff, mini camp, OTAs, or what have you. And in March, when the new season starts, if the Saints get like different free agents. But if you want to talk about some things other than sports or whatever like that, I do something called the Unapologetic Podcast. That's me basically talking about life, situations. We play some hip hop and R&B and stuff like that, but it's more like things that go on in life personally, trials and tribulations, and things that just encourage you. So it's called the Unapologetic Podcast. It is available on YouTube. YouTube.com, search Unapologetic Podcast. And that podcast is on Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio, all those outlets. So that's what I'm saying, my focus gonna be on as well. So if you're into that kind of stuff, you want to hear about some maybe other than sports, we talk about that stuff as well. Let's see, man. Jameis Winston, like I said, Jameis Winston has a turnover problem. He fixes that, he'll be a decent quarterback. I will agree to that. He has like all the tools to be a good quarterback, but you can't turn the ball over. I mean, he does a lot of good things in the game, but it's all because he, it gets overshadowed because of all the bad that he does. Josh and Jesus says, who's worse, the 80s Packers or the 80s Saints? I'm gonna go with the 80s Packers because the 80s Saints, when they had Jim Mora, I'm talking about the late 80s. They had a really good defense. Okay, and that's when the term "who that" was started. So that's when they were pretty decent at that time. So, but the Packers were awful. They were awful at that time, like really, really bad. They were whiffing on draft picks and everything. So, let's see. He does have a turnover problem. I mean, he does, man. Like, he does have a turnover problem. Let's see. Hope we get Amari Cooper in free agency. We need a good second, man. I don't want Amari Cooper. I want a young guy. I want one of these young studs out here that don't cost money. That's what I want. Bump all this stuff right here. If Jeff Ireland can hit out the park once again, then the Saints will be okay. But you got to be able to hit it out the park. I'm not watching anything football related for the rest of the year. If Breeze is back next year, I'm canceling my Sunday ticket subscription. Oh, man. That's not that bad. Jameis Winston never thrown 18 interceptions in the season before this one. Arians' offense is just risky in the league, especially with no run game. Yeah, they need a running back. Bad. We as fans can't get back to, well, we can't deal with that no more. Mediocrity. I want the Dome Patrol back. Will Drew Brees be a part of the Saints next season? I don't know. Let's see. Get Jefferson from LSU. Yeah, I'll take him. They need to develop White. What you think? You talking about Tim White? They need to develop somebody. But what they have ain't it. They ain't it, man. Let's see. Let's see. I was a fan, and I'm a fan now while we running the South. I don't know if you're talking about the Carolina Panthers or not. Are you comparing Winston to a Hall of Fame quarterback? Man, y'all look. Jameis Winston, like I said, if he get those turnovers taken care of, he'll be fine. Thanks for sharing. Do you enjoy South Carolina? Yeah, I enjoy South Carolina. I enjoy it. Just the fact that I met my beautiful fiance here. My whole family was started here. Like everything that is good in my life right now happened because I moved here. And ironically, I don't know, man, just so many twists and turns. Like I just believe in fate. I believe in destiny. My fiance, she was moving from Alabama to Myrtle Beach, and I will say this, I didn't believe it at first, but online dating can work. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody not crazy because we end up like meeting online or whatever. Like she was moving down here, from Alabama. She's a nurse practitioner. She was taking on a new job. And me, so I was already down here at the time. And we end up meeting and stuff like that. She realized I wasn't crazy. I realized she wasn't crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, and man, we just fell in love, and so man, we end up, having my son. So everything great in my life happened when I moved down here to South Carolina. And I enjoyed Myrtle Beach. Myrtle Beach, I enjoy, the beach, and I enjoy like just some of the things that they have around here. Let's see. When Bucks cut him, ain't nobody gonna pick that up. I don't know, man. Somebody will pick him up. Tre'Quan Smith really let me down this year. I thought he was gonna have a breakout season. Yeah, me too. Oh, let's see. Andy Dalton threw 33 touchdowns at 5,100 yards. Y'all hiring. Everybody is not crazy. Yeah, for real. Like, man, I know we like off the subject, but man, this therapy right now. Anything goes right now for the next, I'll say about 10 minutes. The next 10 minutes. My Twitter is SOTS Podcast 8. That's the State of the Saints podcast. And my regular Twitter is Real TJ Jones. Real TJAY Jones. But for real though, anything goes right now. You can ask me anything you want to. It don't have to be Saints related. Look, we getting through this together, folks. Everybody not crazy. Like I know I used to be kind of skeptical about, online dating and all that kind of stuff because, man, you really don't know what to expect. And then especially I heard like a couple of years ago about somebody out in New Jersey, getting whacked because they tried to meet somebody on Tinder. But it's like, it worked. What can I say? Meeting my fiance online was the greatest thing that ever happened to me. That's the greatest. That's the greatest thing that happened to me. I knew it from the first time I met her. You know what I'm saying? Like we met. We ain't go nowhere special. We met at like McAllister's or whatever like that. Because the thing about it was, it was like around December, and I was going because I was having a Christmas party at my job, and she met me at a Walmart. It helped me to pick out like the sandwich tray because I didn't know what to get. And then we ended up going to McAllister, and we talked in there for like 2 hours. And I called my best friend, and I told my best friend, I said, man, this is gonna be the woman I spend the rest of my life with. And yet she's still here supporting the heck out of me, you know what I'm saying? Like, and help me support my dreams. Like I've been on here like 3 hours, and she's always supporting me. So like I said, man, you can find somebody like that. Let's see. I live in Dallas and was born and raised in the 7th, where the people are pretty. Cowboy fans make my life depressing. Let's see. Said TJ, what's the radio station you work at? I'm trying to get them spins from the big state. Chosen honestly, the radio station that I work for, it's more like a station that focuses. Like if you have like some music with some like a positive meaning, a positive spin to it, like I can send it to like the production manager. He actually screens it. Like I can be like, Hey, I think this station, I think this guy right here, this song right here, check it out. But it's really up to them. I don't have that type of pull, but if you have like my station is like it focuses like on like all positive music. Like you ain't gonna hear like none of that, you know, you ain't gonna hear none of that like stuff that you'll probably hear on a hip hop station or whatever. All our music has like a positive message, you know what I'm saying? Love for humanity, love for, one another and stuff like that. So, if you got some music like that, probably be able to get some spins, it'll probably pass the screening. But if you're talking about, coming into somebody's house and shooting it up, or talking about, being in the trap, or I got a pocket full of stones, probably ain't gonna get played. I'm just telling you the truth, man. Well, the 49ers going to the Super Bowl for the NFC for sure. Yeah, it looked that way. If WWL asked you to come to replace Bobby in a heartbeat, yes, I would. Yes, I would, Demi. Bobby Hebert needs to be stopped. Okay. Bobby Hebert is the reason why WWL does not grow. Him and Christian Garrett, in my opinion. But I can tolerate Christian, but Christian has reached a point now. He's getting a little bit arrogant now. And Bobby, he don't know what the heck he be talking about. He just be out there just quoting stats and talking nonsense. WWL needs a shot in the arm, in my opinion. They need some youth to come through there and really just, turn that station around. It's too old school, man. It's too old school around there. Like they need a person with a different perspective on there. Like that's what they need in order to grow that station. I don't think Christian Garrett is the answer, and I definitely don't think Bobby Hebert is the answer. But I will say this though. One day, even if I couldn't work for WWL, I'd like to have a station that competes with them. I would go back to New Orleans and have my own radio station and talk Saints. Because I think that, honestly, I think my station can be better than WWL. Because I would hire people with personality. Like shouts out to my boy Nas. You know what I'm saying? Like Deuce Winham or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I would hire guys like that. Guys that have personality. Not he went 17 carries for 68 yards. I mean, come on. Like, what, like, where the energy at? You know what I'm saying? Where is it? I think people hey, I don't need to be listening. I don't need to be listening to WWL like I'm on a riverbank fishing or something. Where's the energy? Where's the energy? Like, where's the pulse? I don't feel like really nobody has it. Like, if you listen to WWL, it's not even with the sports. It's like everybody that worked there is like boring. The only person that really had some personality was Seth Dunlap, and I don't think he there no more because of some controversy. And I respected him because he would actually read the tweets and read what people are saying and give people a platform and wasn't dominating the conversation like Bobby Hebert was. Or what he do. You call WWL, you talk for like 2 seconds, then Bobby jumping in. Like, come on, man. Let's see. NFC had great records this year. WWL needs new blood. I agree. Sammy Knight, a new shakeup. Let's see. Darrell Terrell, I stay in. Yeah, JSU, man. Shouts out to Roderick, man. I'm from okay. How far is where's that? Is that Heidelberg, Mississippi? What? How far is that from Vicksburg? I really don't. I never even heard of that part of Mississippi. I'm gonna be honest with you. Where was Tampa in the playoffs, though? Saints are about to blow it up. Yeah, they need to. Saints rebuilding. I think everybody rebuilding. Like, that's the thing. I think everybody's rebuilding at the same time in NFC South. Everybody trying to do a re-up. The thing about the Saints was they hit so much on draft picks. They hit so much on draft picks, they was able to get ahead of the curve. But now everybody's, gonna have to re-up. We suppose that quarterback that is in a conversation as the GOAT. Yet the last 3 seasons, mediocre quarterback has outplayed him in the playoffs. Yeah, bruh, my wife's from I guess you mean Vicksburg. Why do you think we need a new defensive coordinator? Because I mean, the more things change, the more it stays the same. That's why. Same problem, same issues, same problem, same issues every day. Every day, every year. Big games, blowing it. Like I don't need to see that much, man. I don't need to see no more. Sometimes you just gotta look at what you got and be like, man, look, this just ain't working out. And I'm pretty sure, like I said, Dennis Allen probably gonna end up staying or whatever. But man, something gotta change. Y'all remember? Like, come on, y'all remember when Sean Payton kept them same clowns around? Them same clowns that's out there for the Rams right now. Joe Vitt and people like that. Like, come on, man. He didn't want to get rid of Joe Vitt because Joe Vitt was like his real good friend. Y'all remember how sorry them linebackers was looking? That's the reason why Stephon Anthony didn't develop. Because Joe Vitt was out there. But look at now that they got Mike Nolan as their linebackers coach. Look how good the linebackers are that Mike Nolan is the coach. I mean, the secondary, and they wishy-washy, but Aaron Glenn, you know what I'm saying? Compared to the old secondaries coach, I mean, that's like night and day. At least they playing with confidence. They play with confidence, but man, they getting beat, but at least they confident. Let's see. 100 miles. Okay. Bruce Arians is about to win now. I like Bruce Arians. He's a good coach. I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case, though. He might win some games. I hope we get Mike McCarthy. Yeah, that would be a good pick for y'all. That'll be interesting seeing him and Sean Payton go at it in games every year. But I still think the Saints have the edge because Mike McCarthy don't know nothing about defense. What he gonna go do? Get Don Capers? Honestly, Sean Payton and Mike McCarthy is like the same type of coach, in my opinion. They both good offensive minds, and they just can't pick a defensive coordinator to save their life. Saints don't need a rebuild. Payton needs an ego check. Who you think gonna win the South next year? The Saints? That's what I think. It definitely ain't gonna be them Falcons. I can tell you that right now. Let's see. The Saints need to low manage on Sheldon Rankins. He can't stay healthy. And I think his contract up too. I think he up for a contract because they picked up his 5th-year option. So now you got to pay him too. Let's see. They play conservative. Yep. Bucks will win the NFC South. Oh, really? You think so? You think they gonna win it? You think they gonna win the NFC South? Yeah. Man, Tampa ain't winning no South. Man, stop it. Who that blew that? Oh, Speed Falcon for life. Okay. Talking about blow that. Look no further than the Falcons. Greg Williams, that will never happen again. Saints to wrapped it up. Ain't doing it again, and you know it. Well, the Falcons ain't doing it no more either. They're gonna have to rebuild. You think, man, come on. Y'all shot yourself in the foot. Darrell Terrell says we need to hook up. What? You were the one talking about the podcast? I don't know where these people come from, man. But I must have a really popular podcast because of the great people that's chatting right now. Y'all are the one. It's not me. I'm not it. It's y'all. It's y'all with the conversation is the reason why these trolls come in here. Because I know it can't be me. I don't think I'm that interesting. So who all need to go, you think, TJ? Who I think needs to go. Here it is. Number 1, with the first pick of the need to go draft, the Saints select PJ Williams. With the second pick, the New Orleans Saints select Marcus Williams. Okay. With the third pick, the Saints select Patrick Robinson. Okay. Those are the people I feel like that need to be gone. Von Bell up in the air for me. He did some good things. I think he did enough for him to get some pay. On the offensive side of the ball, Tay again, it's time to go. I'm actually excited at the fact that I seen Deontay Harris catch that ball down the field like that. That was clutch. Okay. That was clutch right there. All right. As far as the running backs, I don't think any of them needs to go. I like Latavius Murray. I like Alvin Kamara. I like Dwayne Washington. I think they all need to stay. I feel like the Saints need another pass catching tight end. I like Josh Hill, but he really doesn't do it for me in a passing game. You know, like he's a good blocker, steady hand, but I feel like the Saints need another tight end, another pass catching tight end. Defensive line, I wouldn't get rid of anybody. I like the defensive line. I think Shy Tuttle has come on. I like Mario Edwards. I think he did a good job at the linebacker position. Hate for me to say this, but Alex Anzalone, I will have to get rid of him. Even though he can play, he's inconsistent when it comes to his health. And that's about it, man. I wouldn't get rid of Traquan Smith. I wouldn't get rid of him. I wouldn't. I would just put him in a slot. And I would just open up the playbook. The Saints need to they need to hit the reset button on the offensive playbook. That's what they need to do. They need to bring these guys in. And they need to evaluate these guys and see if they got the right guys in there. And if they feel like they got the right guys, then let's see what they do good. And let's find an offensive package for them. That's all I'm saying. Let's find ways to get them involved. Yeah, I mean, I like Josh Hill. I like him a lot, but man, he just don't do it for me, man. He don't do it for me at that position. I feel like he's limited. Like he's an old school type tight end. He's a good blocker. But I feel like the Saints need to go out there and try to find somebody. I mean, they out there. I mean, you look at somebody like George Kittle. George Kittle was like a 5th round draft pick or something like that. And look look how well he turned out. They out there. If you found all those great talents in the draft, I'm pretty sure you can find these guys late or find these guys in the middle of the draft at the tight end position. But they need somebody that can block, and also they need somebody that can catch. I feel like if the Saints get another tight end, another young tight end on the other side of Jared Cook, you'll have some problem. And then, it will actually feed to the strengths of Drew Brees. If he's throwing the ball, if they decide to bring him back, because it will feed to his strengths, because now you have guys that can catch those intermediate routes and they're bigger targets. So I think the Saints need to go that route. Not that I have anything against Josh Hill. I mean, he's been a steady soldier, but I don't know. It's time to move on. But man, that's all for me. I'd like to thank y'all for checking out this extended version of the State of the Saints podcast. Thank you to each and every one of you that have checked out the podcast, that has commented, liked, and shared. I really appreciate that. This is a very discouraging day. The Saints getting that devastating loss today at home in the wild card round. But, it happens sometimes. Unfortunately, it happened way too often with the New Orleans Saints. All we can do is just look forward to next season, man. We sitting on the couch, we chilling. You know what I'm saying? We ain't got nothing else to do. I'm gonna have to decompress, man, from NFL football for right now. I really don't care about who going to the Super Bowl. I really don't care about the divisional round of the playoffs. I don't care about anything like that right now. I'm still gonna focus on the State of the Saints podcast. Still gonna talk New Orleans Saints with you all. But I could care less who go to the Super Bowl. I'm gonna be honest with you. The Saints picked the wrong time to play their worst football. They picked the wrong time to make some of the mistakes that they made, and all the mistakes that has hovered over this team throughout the season has come out on full display today. And all we can do is just look forward to the draft, man, because In my opinion, that's what turns your team around. It's not going out here getting sexy free agents who are going to take up the majority of the money. And, it's not going to be anything like that. It's going to be those young talents, the ones that have been the core of this team for the past 4 seasons. So that's what they need to do. If the Saints can go out there and get these draft picks and don't whiff on them, if they can go out here and really evaluate to know who they want to keep and who they don't want to keep, then I think they should be fine. It's going to be interesting, next season, because everybody seems like they're rebuilding. You got the Buccaneers, they're trying to rebuild. You got the Carolina Panthers, their owner is trying to play money ball, trying to get the best coach that he can possibly get for them. And the Atlanta Falcons, I mean, they did a lot of great things. All they did was beat some of the top teams in the NFL this past season. So, I joke around, but they can be serious contenders, next season. So the Saints, they're going to really have to look out. They're going to really have to look out and really evaluate this team to see what they actually have. But thank you all very much. This has been the State of the Saints podcast. Please subscribe to the channel. Shouts out to all of the NFC South contributors in the chat tonight. I really enjoyed that. Really enjoyed going back and forth with you all. Much love. At the end of the day, I mean, it's all rival, but I respect the love that y'all have for y'all team. Nothing too personal or whatever like that, because we would probably be doing the same thing if y'all lost like this. So, but I hope everybody, man, I understand how bad this can feel. I don't want anybody to just be all down in the dumps. That's what this show is just all about, just to get everybody, just to let out their frustrations. But I mean, the Saints have had the opportunities. They had the opportunity to win the game. They just did not do it. Credit to the Minnesota Vikings. They did an outstanding job. They took it to the Saints. They hit them in the mouth. They didn't go away from what got them there, was running the football, setting up the play action. And they leaned on their playmakers like Adam Thielen and Dalvin Cook and Kyle Rudolph. Those were the guys. So they move on. They take on the San Francisco 49ers next week. And the Saints are on their couch. And they have some very tough decisions to make. They got to make those decisions. Are they going to keep Drew Brees? What are they going to do with Teddy Bridgewater? What are they going to do with Von Bell? What are they going to do with Sheldon Rankins? Are they going to extend, Ryan Ramchick? Are they going to pick up that 5th-year option for him? Are they going to get rid of Andrews Pete? What are they going to do with the secondary? Who's going to leave? I mean, the tight ends coach, Dan Campbell, is up for the Cowboys job right now. So a lot of things could possibly change for the Saints. A lot of coaches could leave. Aaron Glenn almost left last season to be the assistant coach of the New England Patriots. Josh McDaniel is the assistant coach of the New England Patriots, but he's up for a couple jobs, so he might be leaving the Patriots. And Aaron Glenn might end up taking that job. You never know. So might be a changing of the guards for the New Orleans Saints. So I'll keep you posted on what's going on. But once again, subscribe to the YouTube channel, Facebook.com, search State of the Saints Podcast, SOTS Podcast 8 on Twitter, and TJ Jones _ on Instagram. Till next time, all I got to say is, who dat? Good night, everybody.